in his first year, let's not forget. I feel like it was his second year, but that's because he did the whole of Nordic, didn't he?
It's almost 2 separate seasons.
Yeah, exactly. He did a season of Nordic here and then went over there and did a season of NRX next. He won the last round, as we said earlier on today, of Nordic last year. It was just a constant improvement. Then goes and wins Nitro, and now you're like, oof, you know, what am I going to do next?
And it's been a long winter, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has indeed. Inside line, Berget. On the outside, Kyle Schwartz. Kyle giving everyone a bit of space there. Lars-Erik Haug in the orange and white 33. It was Lars-Erik we saw earlier on getting a little back massage during Q2, I think there was.
Car number 3 as well.
Physio, you know, who has a physio, Hal, in lights, you know? Lars-Erik's balling, isn't he, with a physio?
He is,
I
yeah.
suspect he's probably his missus, but yeah, good lad. So Kyle Schwartz trying to get that experience. Goes Joker, good decision. Now got to nail that, though, and then get the laps in to try and get the overlap on some of these drivers.
There's 2 schools of thought there, aren't there, in his position. Either you follow the quicker guys in front of you and learn from them, or you get clear air. And Ida Tornholt, still building her experience in the lights cars, recently gave birth to her daughter, so she's here for the enjoyment as a primary objective, and yeah, that's not to say she's any slower, but she's still learning, and I think sensible for Carl to Joker, really.
Oh, it was great. We had a lovely chat with her earlier today up in the spotters here, and she got the okay to do Holliers 3 days before. She had a baby in April. I'm like, you kidding me? She's like, no. I was like, what's the aim? She goes, have fun. We said, is this a holiday? She's like, pretty much, you know, from a baby at home. So it's great.
And she's driving well, isn't she? I think maybe driving without the pressure of needing to do well.
When Joker to cover off Schwartz, Schwartz does get her.
Yeah, driving without the pressure on yourself, without self-expectation is sometimes healthy, isn't it? And then you drive much better for that than you would if you were desperate to score a result in every single session.
Molly says the baby's actually here, so it's not a holiday from the baby, it's double duty. You know, Ryala is driving in 2 different categories, and yeah, we've got Tornholt, Ida Tornholt looking after the baby and then in between racing. Fair go, go on, get in.
Yeah, and you thought you were busy, mate.
I know, yeah, I know. Imagine that. I've considered bringing the dog to a meeting, but it would be an absolute nightmare, so it's a no. Oh, runs wide in the Joker lap. Mistake there from Berget. The background, Schwartz would have been hoping to make up a bit more time than that, but doesn't quite get there. It was Haug, was it, who ran deep?
No, he just touched the... it was Berget that ran very sideways. Haug just touched the bank on the exit, I think.
On the exit, okay. This was the start. So Schwartz gives Tornholt a little bit of a squeeze down to turn 1, but then actually I think could have squeezed a bit more there because Tornholt slotted in behind. Berget back in the car in through there. This is the big crest there that you just don't see on the TV. That crest is significant through the left-hander on the standard lap. It really is crushed by the telly. Oh, yeah. Oh.
That was almost a new front cam.
And then the
required.
second one, okay, yeah, if you don't get the first one, hit the second one. So still managed to give the bumper a clatter on the last lap. Berget takes it from Erik Haug, Schwartz, Tornholt, and Experth was a DNS. I think Martin Experth had an engine problem, Molly said earlier on today. So
sounded pretty sick, didn't it?
Yeah, they do have, don't forget, yes. There we go. She's just been told you're on the big screens. He knows. She's like, I'm busy. I'm knitting. Olafsson takes the TQ as we expected. 2 wins from 3 sessions. Ola Henry Steinsholt won Q2. Not really mixed results for Steinsholt. P2 looking in Q3. But not quite such a good Q1, but they will start. It's 2 semi-finals, so it'll be odds and evens. They'll be in opposite semis. Kasper Jensen does make it. Walfridsson, Lars-Erik Haug. So Tornholt, Schwartz, and Experth not in. Experth, as we said, was a DNS, and we'll hope that they get that car fixed in time for tomorrow. Supercar, final qualifying session, round 3 of RallyX 2022. Kristoffersson in the TQ spot at the moment. He's 8 points clear, so he's nailed on in theory, but anything can happen, of course. Kaliakowski, Gronholm, Brinterson, Belevsky, Evshin, Veiby, Carlson, German, Bergström, Hans-Joran Ostring, and Michalak are currently in. At the bottom of the table there, Armin Thury could get in. Mitchell's been on form, I think, recently. He was good in Hollius. Andreas Backer there was saying that he was good as well last year in Euro. Belevsky won the last session, nicked it off Gronholm in the very final moments of that session. Kristoffersen in the middle of the grid. Belevsky gets a great start. Kristoffersen will equal at least with Gronholm. Going to surely move across and get into P2, but around the outside. That's outrageous. Kaliakowski got a great start. Whole shot. Kristoffersen gets dumped down into P4. Belevsky runs wide. Gronholm goes up the inside line. Kristoffersen going to be alongside him as they come up over the crest. Surely going to get P3 here, and he does. So Kristoffersen's moved up. Belevsky drops back, but it is Kaliakowski from Gronholm and Kristoffersen.
Great local knowledge from Kaliakowski to make the most of that turn 1. The tiniest of mistakes from Belevsky on the entry to turn 4 cost him big there, didn't it? There's Kenneth Hansen on the radio. Kevin Hansen wheeling him on. Who's joking? I think that's Brinterson in the background. And Nicholas Gronholm from second. So Nicholas has gone for the clear air. That's not going to work for him, I don't think, because he's going to be tucked up behind Belevsky as they start lap 2.
So Gronholm would have been hoping maybe to get in front of Belevsky. He'll be looking to see if Belevsky makes a mistake here. He puts the car out wide, but if Belevsky runs deep, he'll look inside, and this time he doesn't run deep. Belevsky gets it right. Kenneth looks across to Kevin. You can see Kevin. Oh! Kristoffersen drops it on the brakes, gets into the back of Kaliakowski, just got the car slightly too crossed up. Kaliakowski holds on. Belevsky right in behind, though, and that's played into Gronholm's hands massively. So if either of them goes joker this time round, Kristoffersen goes off. Gronholm looking to the inside line of Belevsky now. Belevsky's in his way, and he really wants to try and get through. Watch for Kristoffersen coming out the joker. Belevsky takes the wall. Gronholm moves inside line. Gonna come out onto the start-finish straight. Belevsky gets a better exit, but he can't come back through. Kristoffersen drops down to P4.
Gronholm putting massive pressure on Belevsky there, just enough for him to pick the throttle up that little bit early, just run that little bit wide and clip the wall. You really see how challenging these conditions are when drivers of this experience are making those small mistakes, but this is playing into Nicholas Gronholm's hands massively.
And maybe into Kaliakowski. Kaliakowski is in P2 in the standings, just 8 points off the back of Kristoffersen. If this next heat is fast as well, Kristoffersen might not score enough points here, and we could see Kaliakowski nick the TQ in Q3. Coming around the right-hander now, Gronholm's going to get him, though. Niklas Gronholm comes past Kaliakowski as well. He was only 1 point back, so could it go the way of Gronholm? Takes the checker flag from Kaliakowski and Kristoffersen, Brinterson and Belevsky. So not what Johan needed. P3 though, what's it, how? 50, 45 and 42. We're kind of doing a bit of frantic maths, but
40.6 the final lap time from Gronholm when he got that little bit of clear air. That was Belevsky's late braking move in the first corner. That cost Kristoffersen as he forced Kristoffersen out wide. Graham Rodemark said he wanted to disprove Marcus's theory on pole not being the place to start, but they didn't account for Kaliakowski hanging it round the outside. Got a good margin there, hasn't he? That contact with Nicholas just coming into the braking area is actually what forced Belevsky wide. Nothing untoward, but that tiny, it just takes a little bit of contact.
This is a little bit of contact here. Look,
yeah, and that's
Johan.
A mistake from behind, isn't it?
Yeah,
to brake long,
yeah.
get on the loose, to jump long,
yes.
get on the looser gravel,
that's what I was
and the car run deep.
He dropped the rear right, didn't he, into the dirty gravel on the inside with an angle over the jump. That was Belevsky's wall tap. Gronholm slotted up the inside line. Look at the guys. I like. You could see Kevin so animated when he was watching Belevsky. Even on lap 1, he was twitchy.
I love that Kenneth's hand goes straight for the radio, just in case he needs to give that little bit of information.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
You see, that's a race win for Niklas. Did you see that playing out exactly how it did?
No, I didn't see. I was hoping. Yeah, basically we were racing against Jere because we were one point behind in the standings, so we had to win him. And as Niklas was following Jere after the first corners, I thought that we have to take the risk and go, and it played off. And I think finally Niklas had the pace as well, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, did you make some changes from Q2?
Yeah, we're trying all the time something small, and obviously the track condition is changing also, so have to consider that. Thank you.
So that's what we were talking about, how close it is between them in the standings. If it went the way it does now, it'd be 50 points to Gronholm, 45 to Kaliakowski, and 42 to Kristoffersen. And that was an 8-point difference between, but I think Kristoffersen was 9 points clear, so it'd be TQ Kristoffersen, wouldn't it? P2 for Gronholm, I think. But you can't count out Vaby and Evgen, and that's what I was looking at the end of the race, is who's in the next race, because to me, these two are the only guys. Who else is coming later?
The start's critical for that now, isn't it? They need to get a good launch, otherwise it's gone.
There's a chance for German in race 3, but it's likely to be Vaby or Evgen that could deny Gronholm the session win. It's Vaby who gets the inside line, loses the handbrake, maybe slings the car through the gravel, gets spun round, going to go backwards into the wall. Only a slight tap, going to get away with that. Is the car stuck? That is nightmare situation to get it stuck there. Bangs it into reverse, then first, desperately trying to get it off the wall.
That's the rally driver in him, isn't it?
Yeah,
forward, reverse, get out of the ditch. But the car lifted off the ground completely in the gravel trap. He was completely in the air. He's got going again now, but his chances of a good intermediate position are now gone.
He almost pulled it off, Hal, when he flung it in, because I reckon he had to use the bar on the way in because he was so tight on the inside line, and he just tried to rotate the car, and if you watch, the rear just digs in just a little bit too much. And
also lucky, because that wall comes at you quickly, doesn't it? We'll see it on the left-hand side. That black wall, we're riding above it now from that camera position. It's a hard wall to hit. We've seen some damage there in the past, so lucky for him that it didn't go in. Well, it didn't go in hard at all, really. Just kissed the wall, but got stuck.
I'm hoping that Vigo had the drone up for that one, because I want to see that one from above, but I've no idea. It's a bit too busy in the start to be worrying about where the drone is, to be honest. So we shall see. I know he can do, I think he can do 3 laps, the drone, before it needs a battery. That's how fast it is. It really uses up its power very quickly indeed, keeping up with supercars.
Vaby takes
the Joker,
Not Vaby, sorry. Evgen from second takes the Joker. This is just to try and get out of that traffic, try and get his head down for a clear lap in the JC Run Audi S1.
He would have done the opposite, wouldn't he, of whatever Carlson did, and he's already only 2.1 seconds back. That should be enough. Hal, what do you think the difference is?
Yeah, I think it's below 2 seconds, 1.7, 1.8, so it's going to be tight, isn't it? Because we know he's got great pace. He was disappointed this morning to have lost a couple of attempts with the setup not being quite right when they were expecting it to rain. And it hasn't
Carlson got to go Joker this time. Goes off to the right-hand side. Evgen on the standard lap going inside. The gap was 2.1 at the end of the previous lap. Or he ran a little bit deep. Carlson on the Joker. Is it going to cost him too much? Trying to come around the outside. Evgen going to look to the inside on the exit of the last corner, but Carlson's got it done. Holds on.
Great car positioning there from Carlson. Ran wide on the exit of the Joker merge to hold the position and then cut back in. And
less than a second, Hal, as well off the top time. So where does that put Carlson in the session? Because trying to think how close they were. I've still got RX2 times up on, lights times up on our screen, so we're not quite sure.
But the lap time was half a second off the best lap time of the previous race set by Nicholas Gronholm, which was the fastest lap of the day so far. This is the moment. Runs that little bit of contact with Evgen, wasn't it, that rotated his teammate around. Lucky that wasn't a heavier hit. Let's look at it again. Little nip of the handbrake, gets the rear in. He's sliding solid, his foot buried on the throttle. It's that small contact with Carlson that starts to upset the car more than it already is, and then just got a little nudge from the other Audi. Riding above the other Audi now in Evgen through the Joker lap. Wasn't the perfect Joker, because ultimately Carlson got the better time and won the race with a 2:10.750. I believe Molly is down with somebody else in the spotters area.
Yeah, I'm here with the next generation. She's a bit skeptical, I think. No, I'm actually here to talk to Nicholas after his race win. We were all sort of a bit worried for a second there when you came out behind Yuri, and then you ended up with a race win. Well done.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a risk going to the Joker on the first lap, but this time it.
Is that ice hockey?
That is. And it wasn't USA who scored. It was a bit of a risk, but luckily for me, Yuri made a small mistake and I could pass him right away almost. So didn't lose too much time behind him or in the train. It was a good run.
Yossi was telling me about making some small changes now before Q3. What were they?
Suspension, small. The grip is coming slowly, but there is some more grip. So just kind of trying to keep, staying a bit ahead of the game, and small things. But it was okay.
I know you probably care equally much about this game that's going on. So can we find out what the result is, or?
I'm not sure. I think. Onko se 2-1? Yeah, it's 2-1 to Finland. So still looking good, but.
And Coley's just telling me that he thinks that you're going to take the TQ now.
in this, yeah, okay. Where was Johan then? And now in this one.
Ah, Johan's P5 because Carlson and Evian have beat him.
Okay, well then it should be enough.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
So that's thank you, Molly. I was just shouting in her ear. Said, tell him he's TQ. Me and Hal have just refreshed the timing screen and discovered that Carlson and Evgen went quicker than Kristoffersson because of those problems he had. As we see around the outside now, Philip German takes an easy hole shot and a huge moment in the background. Oh, how did he miss the wall? No thank you to that little ride over the gravel trap.
That was close with the wall that we just saw Ola Christian Baby attacking a moment ago. That was a brilliant start from Philip German to hang it round the outside.
It was so close, wasn't it? It really was.
German didn't have a great run in Q1. Where is he in the intermediate at the moment?
P9, yeah, he's had a 7th and a 13th, so German not going to... I mean, yeah, he's going to go through, barring any issues. It'd be interesting to see what he does in clear air, of course. That's what, you know, he's got a lovely start way out in front. Won't have seen any of the carnage that was going on behind him. Niklas, we say, obviously, while he's focused on the ice hockey results, he didn't think he'd done enough for TQ. And then with Carlson, who I have to say, Hal, Andreas Carlson, P2 in that session, that's a great result, isn't it? It really is. We said in the only 9/10 of the winning time at Gronholm. He's really good. He's
a very tidy driver, isn't he? In a self-prepared car as well, and you're competing against some of the massive rallycross teams in this championship.
Exactly.
The level is high. This is a JC Race Technique run, EKS built Audi. You've got Kristoffersson Motorsport here who have put big effort into developing that Polo. That's an old car, but they are working hard on that. Hanson Motorsport, Peugeot, GRX Hyundai, like the level is super high. So to be there with a car you built yourself, it always gives me.
Yeah,
I feel so excited by it because it's massive personal satisfaction for being in that position.
That's what I hope everyone understands at home when we're so stoked for a little result like that for Carlson. Not only was it a great drive, but as you say, you're going up against the giants of the sport. It's in the latest spec cars. And you say that Kristoffersson Polo, you know, you don't beat Ekstrom in a 21 spec World Championship winning car, do you?
It's not like they've dragged it out in 2014 and taken it to the start line.
And to do things like put the lightweight wing mirrors on it, they're searching for every 100th in that car. I love that Johan and Tommy want to do that with KMS. Running over a few bits of broken car, German looking for that fastest time. Could have been close, bit too sideways in the last corner. Oh! Has he done it? Yes! He
has done it, yeah.
He's done it by 200ths of a second. So German does get it, even running wide in the last corner. German is going to... But will that 5 points make the difference to Gronholm not taking the TQ if he's going to nick 5 points back off him?
All it does is pushes Kristoffersson down one more position, but it'll be a 1 point split.
Yeah, for Kristoffersson, but another 5 points lost for Gronholm.
Yeah. So what was the gap?
I have no idea, because I added the points up after the first race, thinking that would be not what it was. So Gronholm, it was 9 points between them. But look, do you know what? Don't worry about it. We'll get someone with a machine to work it out for us.
I don't think it's going to be enough. I think
Kristoffersson's going to take it. So it may be then that Niklas is going to lose out because German has done exactly what we said he might do in clear track and gone and got enough. But Kristoffersson is going to drop down to P... Where's German? Yeah, German's gone in P6 for Kristoffersson. I've got a little table somewhere which gives us the points out. Hold on.
You know you've had a big moment when you leave your rear quarter in the Joker lap, don't you? But
right, Kristoffersson's where? P6. Well, so Kristoffersson's going to get 38. It's not enough. Kristoffersson's going to take it back because German's beaten Gronholm. So we're just, yes, Hal Ridge with the super fast maths. Not only is it
not super fast.
Well, no, I mean we had a calculator out last week, mate. So you're all good. We were literally in here with the three of us. They came to the studio. We were doing manual maths. I think people were like, "Wow, is this really what goes on behind the scenes?" It is.
I was terrible at maths at school because I couldn't show the workings out. I could get the answer, but I had no idea how I got. Similar to that, I don't really know how I got there.
No, but you got there. Maths is not my thing, mate. It's not my thing. No more ties in championships. How many times have we said it? I can live without the stress.
So many championships were tied last year.
Job's hard enough. You're killing me. Killing me with all these countbacks. Mitch Latniemi, Malinan and Vranks. Vranks in the RX2E car. What's he going to do up at turn 1? Coming out really wide. He's going to slot back in. That's exactly what I thought he would do. Takes one position. He's going to take a second one. No. But we might find any little mistake from Malinan will allow Vranks through. Vranks has not been shy of making passes and getting undercuts done on Jokers and things. I reckon Franks will joker if Malanen doesn't, because Michalak isn't going to, is he? He's going to hold on till the final lap.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, but you would do that from the front of the field. Franks looking very tidy.
Maybe not this time then. Standard lap. No, goes joker anyway. Even better. Even better, because Malanen's gone with him. So he's going to go joker. Got to get out in front,
That's a risk, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Is it on the inside line? No. I would have... Oh, now a mistake, so gets it back again. I think if I were Victor and I were inside, although the joker... You see, I bet the joker call came before the corner. Then Malanen made the mistake. Victor was up the inside. I'd have got standard lap.
Suspension. Sorry, Andrew. He's broken the front left suspension.
Go on, hang in there.
Must have been that contact with Niemi at the joker merge.
Hang on in there. Go on, Victor. So front left corner hanging off the car. Now it goes straight on, gets on the handbrake and flings the car round.
I mean, this is great testing. He's here to learn for the RX2, the FIA RX2E Championship this year. So part of you would say park the car now because you don't want to do any more damage. The other part you would say at some point you're going to have to drive with the car broken. So why not do the laps and just see what happens? Especially
here when I'm not saying the result doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter as
Absolutely
much.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as much. I'm telling you, it's holding on pretty well so far, isn't it?
The only concern would be if it does break at this point and you have a massive crash because of
you don't want to go in the wall. So front left, you can see it locks, doesn't it, Hal, when it touches back in the wheel arch, basically.
Yeah, it looks like something's broken on the bottom, on the outside, so the wheel's got more camber than it ought to. Otherwise, none of this is troubling Michalak up front. He's been driving really well this year, I have to say.
Yeah.
Really impressed with Michalak stepping up his game, the ex-Supercar Lights driver.
Looking for a 209.8. Can he take the time? No, he can't. Going to be too far back. 211.8, so some 2 seconds back. And we think then that the session win for Philip German will actually hand the TQ back to Johan Kristoffersson.
Fair play to Franks for getting that car to the finish.
And that's
a great job.
Today, actually, yeah, agreed. Today we've seen, haven't we, a couple of occasions where the fastest first thing has meant that people are running later in the session have managed to get the job done, surprisingly. Yeah.
Niemi getting stuck in the first corner. That opened the door for
Franks in the background
Victor to get up the inside.
So this was the mistake. Now, I think Franks has been told to joker here, yeah? Then Malanen makes the mistake. Now, for me, Franks would have been better to go standard lap here because then he knew he would be in front of this car and Niemi in the background. As it goes, he comes out with Niemi, and this is where, of course it is. It's easy for us. That's the job, though, isn't it? You know.
No, I always say that. It is so easy for us to say from here. We haven't quite seen.
And that's just, yeah, I'd
like to see that again if that's possible in the truck, but I think that's just where Niemi has just touched the side, and I think that'll be where Franks has gone to steer into the corner to the right. It's just opened the wheel up from the bodywork a little bit, and these cars are designed to have load in the suspension up and down, and to a degree from the side, but having that front to rear impact when the wheels open, that's where you see steering arms break when they clip walls every now and again.
Where's he parked it? Is it on the start-finish straight, or did he get it around to the exit? It doesn't matter, does it? Because it's the final... Is it the final Supercar race, or is there one still to come? It's the final Supercar race, it doesn't matter. So Mitch, I was thinking we're going to have a delay, but we're not. It's the final Supercar race. So that is qualifying over for round 3 of RallyX 2022. Victor Franks' crew have got a bit of work to do because it is not long before we're back on air for semi-finals and final. Try and find out what time that is for you. Johan Kristoffersson takes the TQ by 2 points from Niklas Gronholm. Jari Kalliokoski is P3, German P4, Evshen, Brinderson, Carlson, Belevsky, Michalak, O.C. Vaby, Hans-Joran Ostring and Gustav Bergström have all made the top 12, and they are in our Victor Franks. Victor Franks is out, so that must be, well, OK, either way, he's not going to make it, and Malanen either. Here comes your session winner. German coming in to take it, and that means that we had 3 different session winners. We have Kristoffersson, Belevsky and Bergman. German. Get myself all confused. Oh no, let's go and hand over to Molly, and me and Hal will take a break.
Hand over to a real scan.
Yeah, we'll be back soon.
Congratulations, top qualifier there in Q3. How do you feel?
Yeah, it feels so good. Finally, a clean lap, a clean race. I feel I have the pace. I just need like clean laps, so that feels so good.
When did you last do this?
Oh, I don't know. Back in touring car, I think.
Have you been working on the car a lot so far this weekend?
Yeah, we made some changes for today, and I felt it was a lot better. So, but it's my confidence. I have need more. I have to drive more in the car, more confidence. So that's what's missing. So,
what part of the track is it you feel that you have the biggest advantage?
No, it feels like I have a really good pace through corner 1 and up in the hill. So. Yeah, I love this track, a proper rallycross track, and I love that. So.
Hey, let's see your hands because they're shaking quite a lot from adrenaline. Huh?
Adrenaline.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every time.
That's why you do this, right?
Yeah, I love this sport.
Oh, brilliant. Well, on that note, we are actually going to take a small break now, and we will be back at 14:40 Central European Time. See you then.
Welcome back to RallyX 2022 round 3 in Kouvola, Finland. We're done with qualifying. We're on to semi-finals and finals. My name's Andrew Coley. This is the legendary Hal Ridge. Skins, good to see you, mate.
Hello, mate.
Molly's out there mostly in the food area, getting lunch and stuff, and excluding us, which is why we've just been to OMSC and stolen all Maria's pizza, and as well as made a tea, got the results. I think we were off air for 11 minutes there. You know, I'm not trying to say we're having a hard day, but we're having a hard day, and we're about to get cracking. Basically, semi-final time. Cross car, junior cross car, open two-wheel drive, supercar lights and supercar to see who wins round 3. And I think that will give us a much better idea of how the championship lies after we had quite a lot of guest drivers up at Hollius. Looking forward to it. Get in touch if you want to. Hashtag is RallyX2022. How's it going?
Like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. Peter, like and subscribe. He's holding up a sign at the back of the room. Peter Hellman, the legendary man himself.
We can't give him a title because he's got too many hats.
Yeah, yes, he's wearing a lot of hats, including one today from a late night. And he basically he's creating the Insta bangers. Like he's filming stuff. He's out doing the paddock walks and the previews. Yeah, go Peter.
The end.
Let's have a look at German from the previous session. I think we're going to take a look at German. Are we from the previous session? What do we got here?
So I just had a chat to Philip. I'm so sweaty from running for food and a quick visit to the loo. But just within that run, I managed to grab a word from Philip, and he was just relieved, so pleased that he managed to pull this run off. He's felt the pace has been there since he got in this car in Arvika last year, felt so comfortable in it. In Julius, he feels like the car's really coming to him. He's getting to grips with it. He's an experienced supercar driver now, but he just needed that clean run at the front of the field, and he got that. Track conditions were pretty equal across all of the classes. Of course, the track's cleaning a little bit every single time cars go over it, but he was delighted and relieved, as I say, just to get this run done. And he had quite a margin, didn't he, at the front of the field, and that's going to set him up beautifully for this afternoon into the semi-finals.
Yeah, great run for him to steal, well, not steal Q3, you know, he won Q3 fair and square, didn't he? Looking down at the results, Kristoffersen won Q1, Q2 went the way of, that was a nice high note, wasn't it?
Sound like Molly.
Q2, yeah, Molly does their voice, in case you noticed. Q2 went the way, who won Q2? Bolevsky, of course, who ended up P8, actually, because he didn't go his way in Q3, or in Q1, in fact. Bolevsky's had real highs and lows, and obviously Q3 went the way of Philip German, moving up into P4. Top 4, Kristoffersen and Kaliakowski in the one semi, and Gronholm and German in the other odds and evens. Only 2 semis in supercar. Molly is with Victor Vranks.
Yeah, we're down here with Victor Vranks. Of course, as most of you saw in Q3, he was up to something there. What was going on?
Well, I tried to do a bit like the supercars, going hard in the Joker, and went so great. The left front broke, then going uphill, and each time I was braking, this car wanted to go left, but I wanted to go right. So it was a bit difficult, but yeah, I finished, so I'm happy.
So you were watching the guys in the top class with their 600 horsepower supercars, and you wanted to just do the same thing, yeah?
Yeah, I thought, yeah, if they can do it, I can do it. It's not so, it's easy. I see one going full sideways in the Joker, everybody, and I thought, yeah, okay, I try. And then a bit too hard. Yeah, okay.
Well, it's better to have tried, yeah?
Yeah, I tried, yeah. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, we could see that, can we? That front wheel moving around in the wheel arch is never ideal. Just every time you jump on the brakes, it moves, touches the wheel arch, locks the wheel, pulls you that way. But still, you know, he did well, dragged it round, like you said. It's all important experience.
Yeah, he's here to learn, and him saying, you know, that's how it is great. He's, yeah, I think that opportunity to learn without pressure is almost invaluable. You literally can't test for those scenarios. So yeah, doing a great job.
Here we go then, first of our semi-finals for junior cross car. Uito and Yulalami on the front row, Persson and Solly, Hattenmar and Kinnunen. Oh, it looked like a really good start on the inside of the second row for Persson, but he had to kick the clutch and has gone backwards, so easy hole shot for Uito. Look at Yulalami leaving a whole car width on the inside, how, because just doesn't know how much space there is behind. Big flick, it looks like they've prepped the gravel maybe up there. Yeah, they have, I think. Big old flick to get the buggy turned in.
But they haven't dragged the gravel onto the clean areas. Let's have a look. No, they haven't dragged the gravel down here. That's really good for the consistency of the circuit going into the semi-finals. Now remember, top 2 from this race will go through into the final a little later this afternoon, and being out front in this 4-lap race, so important early on.
Joker lap there in the background, I think it was for Person, I'm not
yes, I think it was.
That, yeah, pretty sure. So Yulilami Uito out front. Remember, semi-finals are 4 laps and the final is actually 5 laps. If you're wondering why the lap count varies, it's simply because there are so many entries in Nordic that there literally aren't enough hours in a day, and we genuinely mean that. So we do around 6.5 hours of telly in a 7-hour window, and of course they race Q1 before that. So if you think trying to squeeze it all in, Hollius, literally they were starting at 9 in the morning and finishing at 5 to 6, and it's the limit of what you can do in a day with the number of hours you can use the track for. So yeah, great stuff. I kind of, you know, while I want 4-lap races in qualifying, Hal, it's also nice to see so many people get the chance to enter a great series.
Yeah, and ultimately the entries are important for the fans trackside, for the people watching at home, for us in the on the TV team, and for the event to work commercially, the championship to work commercially. It's all about getting drivers on board. So I think it's a really good balance between having the races that maybe the drivers would want, or you know, and the ones that work for the championship.
Yulilami Joker's there and comes back out into P3, so Soli's gone through, but should be enough.
Person losing loads of time at the back here now, really not working out that early Joker, moving the car around all over the place, looking for a way through, but just not finding the gaps. Looks to the inside, coming down the hill. Fortunately for him, Hattemar gets alongside, and a bit of contact. Hattemar spins. They both got out of shape on landing from the jump, and it just came together at the apex.
Yeah, Rasmus was P7 after Hollius in the standings. Made it to the semis on day 1 and to the final on day 2. Not going to make it this time round. And look at Yulilami all over the back of Oliver Soli.
Soli did a great Joker there to get...
No, don't drop it there. Sorry, Hal. Yulilami's guaranteed a place in the final here with... Oh, Soli's Jokered or not?
Yes, he has. He just popped out of the Joker then. So that was a strong Joker strategy for him to get back out and maintain track position.
I'm surprised at that, because the gaps earlier looked like it wouldn't go that way. So while we've been looking maybe at the back of the pack, the gaps developed between them. So that was Yulilami's only chance to make it through. I really thought it was guaranteed. Not close enough. So Oliver Soli stolen it. Uito, you can see coming out of the joke lap on the inside. And Oliver Soli, who's going to get a supercar test at some point with Matthias Ekström when he's tall enough. Uito crosses the line, books a spot in the final, and so does Oliver Soli. Yulilami misses out at home in Finland. Yeah, not quite tall enough, Hal. When he's taller, says he can test the car. When he's taller.
Baffled. I'm too tall and too fat to get in Matthias's cars, but I have fit a couple of times. I'm sure Ikas can make that work.
So look at
really good start from Uito, wasn't it? Really, really good start from the front. Person looked to the inside here, made up a couple of places. Something must have happened at turn 4 to him that I didn't spot, because he then dropped back again. He did Joker on the first lap.
So is he too late on the brakes in here, you think, maybe? Well, we don't see it. So this was Yulilami going Joker with Soli right there. And this is what I mean. So I was convinced that Yulilami, so Soli must have done an absolutely mega Joker and the laps in between. So does he Joker from there and come back out in front? Or is that, no, this is of course up.
That's Hattemar getting out of shape on jump landing. Person had already set him up for the move, and then they both were at all angles. None of that troubled Uito though. That was a convincing performance.
Championship P3 Uito, the winner of round 2. The winner of all 3 qualifying sessions here. So at the minute, Michael Uito is on for a clean sweep at round 3 of Cross Car Junior. And there certainly weren't any clean sweeps. I'm just looking back to see. Well, no clean sweeps last year in Junior. And there certainly weren't here either. So it might be our first clean, might actually be our first clean sweep in Junior. I've only got the results for 2021 in front of me. I've only got 2020 underneath. Do you know what? When I pull out the results for 22, Hal, in 2020 we had 10 cars took part in Cross Car Junior. We're now up to something like 30 odd. Hallen and Anderson, Perimäki, Soderholm, Campi and Nilsson. Hallinen's got great starts all season so far. Lucas Anderson alongside gets a good start too, but Hallinen does get the whole shot. Nailed on through turn 1. Lucas Anderson just slots in behind. That's the tactics now. Runs the car out wide, look, hoping now that Hallinen will run wide. Hallinen has made a big step in driving for me this year.
Yeah, was great in Kouvola. Made a few mistakes last year, but had good pace. Look at him moving the cross car around into the braking area. Of course, a local here, his home circuit. He'll have done a few laps around this venue, and that's paying off.
Oh! Clips the barrier on the inside line. I think it's Perkamaki, isn't it?
Yep.
To Perkamaki, and I actually thought, Perkamaki going to try and make an opportunistic move there on the exit of the standard lap.
So Anderson looked to the outside of Hallinan through the penultimate corner, couldn't quite pull it off. Perkamaki's mistake earlier in the lap not costing quite as much because these two are fighting so close up front.
That will have hurt, you know, hitting the barrier like that. I've hit stuff in buggies before, and every little thing comes through the steering at you, doesn't it?
It does. In the wrist particularly, because you're holding on pretty hard.
I think I broke my finger actually once, but not as much as I broke on Ollie O'Donovan's RX 150, so apologies, mate. It was fourth gear at Pembrey.
Sacrificial finger.
Yeah, it was, I'm afraid. It hurt for quite a long time, but yeah, thanks, Ollie, for the opportunity again.
I'm sure you didn't tell anyone
I've got a bit of a reputation, haven't I, at the minute? Hallinan still leads, but is still under pressure from Lucas Anderson. Joker has gone. Tinka Peramaki, sorry, I keep adding an extra K. Peramaki, apologies. I think Marcus Gronholm in the commentary box earlier on today trying to teach us how to say the Finnish names. Hallinan runs a bit deep up at turn 3. Is Anderson going to be alongside as they come over the crest? No, not close enough. He didn't run quite wide enough for it. I love Hallinan's sunstrip. He's gone for the old school World RX one with the RX logos on either side. It's like a sort of 2014 spec sunscreen visor across the top. Hallinan goes Joker this time round. So from the lead, Anderson was right there. Anderson could put in a banger of a lap now and get in front. Hallinan with a great Joker, though. That's going to be tough to match, I think.
Very tight, and that's the local track knowledge, isn't it? Because you don't get that many opportunities to drive through the Joker on a normal rallycross weekend. There's an issue there for Anderson.
Anderson's got problems then. Either it was a mistake or some sort of an issue because Hallinan's right there. So watch the gap back to Peramaki. Hallinan going to try and find a way through. He doesn't need to.
He needs to drive his head here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he needs to keep it really cool. Don't know what happened with Anderson, but just looked like the car was choked up at the end of the straight. So Anderson now then in danger from Peramaki in the purple buggy. Watch for Peramaki and Anderson. Anderson will Joker this time round. Hallinan's going to go standard lap, and this will be an easy win. In goes Anderson. Watch out now through the right-hander. Hooks are with a bit much on the inside line. Peramaki around the outside. This for a place in the final. Peramaki going to try and carry the speed. Surely an outside under move on the cards, but just holding on. Hallinan takes the win. Anderson gets there. Peramaki just gifted an opportunity on the final lap, but wasn't able quite to take it.
Bit of inexperience there, I think, because I think with a bit more rallycross racing experience, you probably would have checked up early and gone for the undercut and tried to force your way up the inside in the final corner. Great for Anderson to make it through despite that issue on the start of the final lap. Hallinan made a brilliant start, didn't he? You were saying, Andrew, he made good starts all weekend in Julius as well. So easy. That wall comes at you so close on the left-hand side. Anderson putting the leader under big pressure. That is so lucky that did not break the suspension on the front left. This is the Joker merge. Once Hallinan very well took the Joker. That's the issue.
Mistakes.
Just that little bit of oversteer. He was lucky to get away with that. He's in his first season with the JC team.
When we saw him at the end of the straight, he was just obviously didn't have the speed, wasn't he, Hal?
Well, he just come back on, hadn't he? And it was that speed differential.
Slow, and you're like, well, what's going on? And then you realise why. He's run a bit too wide.
Hallinan and Anderson both making it through to the final.
3:08.5. What was the time for Uito? 3:05.8. So Uito is...
These two were fighting hard, though, weren't they?
Yeah, true. You go defensive
run.
lines, don't you? Yeah, and of course Hallinan lost out on the last lap when Anderson had the problem. So Uito goes through from the TQ. Oliver Solly goes through from row 2. Both the front row went through from semi-final number 2. So it's just this one to settle. Carl Peder Nordstrand, Tino Niemi, Lundalander, Steinzold, Terpainen and Suono in this one. Great start from the back row for Suono, coming from P6 up to P3, moving across to the inside line. That's an absolutely epic start. Mistake as well from the P2 man. Is Suono going to look up the inside into turn 3? Oh, might take the lead here. Crossed up, getting a squeeze on into the barrier on the inside. It's all gone horribly wrong. Who's going to come out there? It's got to be a red flag. They're on the racing line. 100% going to get red flag. That is such a shame because that was the start of a lifetime for Suono, wasn't it?
I was literally thinking this is the sort of start you dream of when you're imagining racing in a rallycross event in the semi-finals. You dream of coming from the back row of the grid. This is going to have to be a red flag with the guys climbing out of the cars on the inside of turn 4. What a shame.
So Suono's start was just unreal.
We don't have red
Still
flags
got a red flag out. You need to get a red flag out. Wonder if he's going to be able to see where the accident is. They're going to go yellows. Okay, well, you could argue that once they all know where they are on lap 1, there's now no point in red flagging it. That should have been red flag for me immediately because it's in a corner. But there you go. We're not in race control.
No, it's not our call to make, is it?
Now they know where the cars are. There's no point.
Nothing's about time. So yeah, fair enough to continue. It's just that first lap, isn't it, where you're driving in blind because you don't know.
But also people getting out of cars and stuff, you know. Yeah. So anyway, there we go. They're helping get them out. Fair play. That's cool to see. He's gone back to help the other kid get out of the car. Nice one. Love to see that. Love to see that. Right, leader then is Karl-Petter Nordstrand, who was on the front row, of course. Going to know where the incident is now. Will come in nice and wide. Look at that. Remember, they don't have spotters in junior, so there's no one on the radio going, you've got 9 seconds, kid, don't worry about it.
But also the spotters won't see that. They're not necessarily watching the stream. The stream might be... The reason they wouldn't watch the stream is the way that it works by going to the satellite. It doesn't necessarily have... it's not exactly live time.
No,
it might be a second delay.
Back, yeah.
So there's no point in watching it. That's at the hidden side of the circuit from the spotters area, which is to the right. So even if you did have a spotter, you wouldn't necessarily know.
Shout out to the worried parents, because there's 3 sets of parents there up at the spotters area who don't know where their kids are. They're all fine. But, you know, that's part of it, isn't it? Just it makes you nervous as a parent, I'm afraid. I know my parents were always nervous when I was competing in anything. It's just nature of it, isn't it? Interesting. Marcus is a bit different, professional driver. I think when it's in the family, it's a different. You're almost as nervous for their performance as you are for anything else. But that's such a shame how Suono's start P6. We'll see it again. Look at them all they're actually having a laugh together. Yes, mate. Good effort. They were all having a bit of a laugh up there, but the start was epic, wasn't it? P6, and I thought he was going to get on the inside with those mistakes and end up P2. I really thought he was booking a slot in the final, and then that happens. I'm gutted.
Yeah, I am as well, but this is all about learning, isn't it? In these incidents, I just love the camaraderie in this category.
Into the last corner, Karl-Petter Nordstrand books a spot in the final.
Great drive, did everything right there.
Yeah, and... crossing over the line in P2 is Joachim Lund-Alander.
And hard to compose yourself once you've seen that incident unfold and then have to pass it and wondering what's going on. It really upsets your rhythm, so good job from those 3 guys to get through.
All 3 of our pole sitters have gone through. Watch this, Suono on the outside of the back row.
Yeah, just absolutely hooked it up, didn't he? Went to the inside immediately, moved out wide again to take the ideal line. Now he's going to cut back in to go for the inside, and there's just going to be the tiniest bit of contact.
Not his fault in my book. Nobody's fault really, racing incident. You know, he had the door closed on him just ever so slightly here. It was...
they were side by side. He's hard. He's in the brakes.
Yeah.
He's got back in the throttle. Oof.
I wonder if Niemi was having a look at Nordstrand in front. You know, if you... We might see it again. I don't know if we'll be able to see it again or not, but it looked almost like he's having a look up the inside of Niemi, and then, yeah, tricky. Gutted, though.
Yeah. And racing incident, I mean, and any penalty they apply now won't make any difference.
No, it doesn't matter. They're all out. That's great to see, isn't it? That's just great to see. Nicely done. Love that. That might be one of my favourite moments of the day. Brilliant.
I often... I don't concern myself. I often wonder if some of these young kids are forced to grow up too quickly. They don't get the opportunity to be kids because they're on this trajectory to being great racing drivers. But look at that. They failed to make it past turn 4, but they're having a great time. Really, there's a really good feeling in the junior cross car paddock, isn't there? There's a lot of goodwill between the teams and between the drivers.
So if we look, looking back at my stats, so in 2020 we had 10 cars. I believe the first season there were 4 or 6 or something. In 2021, we had 21 cars during the course of the season. And then this year, we are at 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're over 30 already. There'll be more added to that in Finland here, Hal. You know, it's tripled in size. It's doubled each. It went from 10 to 20 to 30 over 3 years.
What's the saying? Rome wasn't built in a day. Things take time to build, and the quality and the size of the junior cross car category is down to the huge hard work of many people. The constructors of the cars, the people that run the series, you know. Andreas Eriksson, who is and Olsbergs, who ultimately are so supportive of this championship. And this is where the world champions, the Nitro champions, whatever, are going to come from in the future, isn't it? It's racing in those kids in these junior categories. I think it's fantastic. It was lovely seeing Andreas with a couple of the Norwegian kids. Yeah, and they were like, Andreas is our hero. In the commentary box with him, and they're there with their hero, and they're racing on the same track at the same weekend as Johan Kristoffersson. And I say there's 3 times as many in racing now as there were 2 years ago. Earlier on, Molly caught up with Sondre Evjen.
Sondre, you're P5 after the 3 qualifyings. How's it going so far for you?
It's been rough in the start, getting away, bad reactions, but the driving has been good. We're quite good on lap time, so hopefully now we have a good position for the semi, so looking forward to that.
Bad reactions, is that something you struggled with for a while, or?
It started a bit in the final in Höljes, in the first race, but it's better now. We had a good start in Q3, so hopefully it stays like that.
And what do you do to work on that?
A bit of focus. We practice here on the phone, but yeah, we'll see.
You practice on the phone?
Yeah, we have app with the reaction time, so we have competition with Ole Christian and his spotter, so we have some fun in the meantime.
And who's leading that competition?
His spotter is leading, so we're struggling a bit. Maybe he should drive.
And that's Ole Johan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Ole Johan. So we hear it all the time that he's better than us, but.
So he says he should be driving, right?
No. He just mocks us. He's having fun with us, so yeah, it's good fun.
Sondre, tell me what you like about this track here in Kouvola.
Everything, except the Joker could be longer, but the driving, the differences in height, the levels, everything. It's just awesome. It's cool. We can slide without losing time. It's the best track, I think, driving alone, but when you're stuck in traffic, it's really, really difficult.
How did you feel the weather conditions? Because this morning it was cold, it was a little bit damp, and now it's starting to dry up. The sun is out.
Yeah, we just made the car stiffer and stiffer, and then it just works out. The lap times are quite similar, so it doesn't change so much, but the gravel is better and the tarmac is also getting better, but I think we're okay.
You better go work on that reaction time then.
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
So that was just a short while ago, Molly, having a catch-up with Sondre. Nice to hear there's a bit of banter going on down there as well. I need to get that reaction time app, Hal. We can have a little bit of a competition there, can't we?
Yeah.
Think you'll win?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah. I've seen your starts.
The starts are fine. It's what happens. It's how it ends that is the bad news. I think we'll see the lights thing tomorrow. We've got Molly live now. Down to you, Molly.
Yeah, you certainly do. I'm here with Jari Kalliokoski. It's great to see you back in RallyX. It's been a little while.
Yes, nice to back drive to RallyX Nordic.
And I was watching from where the spotters were standing. Your start in the Q3 race was incredible.
Yeah, start is really good, but I don't know, driving is not best for the weekend, but start is good.
Why wasn't the driving the best?
I don't know. Q1 and Q2 is really good lap time, but I don't know why Q3 is not good.
So you don't know where you lost the time?
Yeah, little contact and yeah.
But how does it feel to be P3 in the intermediate standings behind Johan and behind Nicholas, and there you are?
Yeah, nice feel drive.
Your English has become a lot better.
Yeah, little.
Looking behind you, I can see that door has taken quite a beating.
Yeah, it's battle.
Whose fault is that?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Well, you must have felt that, though.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Thank you very much, Jari. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that. Just as Molly said, your English is coming on. You say, I don't understand. We'll blame Molly. She's Norwegian, really. But yeah, you'd think you would remember, wouldn't you, who clattered into the door, but you just don't. But yeah, great for Kalliokoski to have qualified where he has. Nice to see him back. And yeah, congrats on your English, mate. We know we're lucky. Hallberg, Anderson, Rajala, Eganson, Weinicke and Nogin in this one. Revs right up. You hear just that little bit of an extra push. Halberg, remember, got a couple of wheelies in Hollius and almost gets one again. The nose of the car comes up so high, hangs onto the gear for a long time. Ryler, though, is right underneath this rear wing. Inside line into turn 2. Moves up. 5, 6 cars over there.
Lost a wheel.
Lost a wheel. We've lost a wheel in the background. Who was it? It's not Ryler. He's still got 4 out of 5. It's the car in P5. Has lost the front right completely. Up out front, though, it is Halberg who leads. Wow.
Finally, Halberg gets away from the line, from pole position to where he wants to be. Great effort to still be dragging a car around on 3 wheels in the background, but that's not going to be resulting in a place in the final this afternoon.
Ryler's gone to the Joker, so Ryler goes Joker this time round. Halberg leads as they come round the end of lap 1. Remember, 4-lap race. We're 1 car down already. Looks like that's been part of spin right on the start finish line, just to the right of shot. Ryler's going to go up the inside of 2 cars.
Perfect for Ryler.
Yeah.
They went either side and he chose the better of the options. It's like when Mika Hakkinen...
Oh no, Halberg's off.
Oh no.
Halberg's off. We saw the dust come across the camera. The leader's dropped it as well. Carnage in semi-1 for cross car. So these 2 cars...
Ryler's going to win this.
Yeah, Ryler's going to win this. Can Halberg recover? Remember, Halberg, the minute is P2 in the championship, Hal, to Thomas Merstad. So the championship front runner might not make it through if he doesn't have a big recovery now.
Disaster for Halberg. Just as I said, he'd done everything right in the first corner compared to how it had gone for him through the qualifying races. The positions are yet to update on the stack, but we know now he's running P3. This is going to be tight on the exit
again. Van Aker and Halberg were alongside each other on the start-finish straight. They got 2 sideways coming out through that first corner. So Vaneker is going to go through with Rajala as it stands at the minute. Right way up front. Halberg hasn't jokered and needs a disaster for somebody else now, frankly, to make it.
Yeah, even then, he's going to joker and come into the pack, so it's day done, really, for him, isn't it? So frustrating. Remember, he had a few niggles last season that ultimately resulted in him not being able to clinch the title in that really dramatic final round. He's going to duck into the joker, but it's not going to be enough, because he's going to drop down the order badly now.
Even if he came out in P3, it's not enough, remember, because there are 3 semi-finals. If there's 20 cars or more in a category, Halberg's trying, isn't he?
That was some frustration there, wasn't it? Just sending into the final corner.
It'd be a great photo. It was properly lit. This was where we don't know if it was a mistake or what, but he was out really wide. You just saw the dust as we cut to the camera, and Halberg was off the track. I'll tell you what, when Ryler went, he probably thought, I'm risking it for a biscuit here with an early joker, and literally the seas just parted in front of him. Everybody dropped it or had an issue, so Ryler coming through the left-hander now and then into the right is going to take an easy win in semi-1 for cross car. Who's going to go through in P2? It should be Vaneker, and it will be. So from the front row, Halberg dumped right back. Ryler goes through, Vaneker as well. 3 cars side by side over the line. Halberg ends up P5. Look at it, 0.2 of a second would have been enough for P3, but he needed 2 seconds to get in front of Vaneker.
You don't normally see much emotion from Ryler. He's pretty...
Look at the emotion from Vaneker, though. That's absolutely brilliant. Where did they qualify? Down in P13.
So this
Marco Vaneker qualified in P13. Hal is through to the final. Great.
Amazing. There's Ryler on the inside in the first corner. Was up to P2 at the start. So what happened next? I've forgotten what happened next.
Well, so
he's got...
There's Vaneker going up the inside. There's
so
the
that's
wheel
pushed
loss.
Ryler wide. And Ryler's going to lose places in turn 4. Halberg was lucky to get away with that as well in the... that was unlucky to lose a wheel there.
So look, Vaneker now is up into P2, so now Ryler's dropped to P4. So you can now understand why Ryler's joker, but you see what I mean? You joker at this point. Now look, he's in P6, Hal. Normally, you've just booked yourself out of the final. Yeah, watch this. Spin, car goes outside, he goes inside. That's 2 gone straight away.
You make your own luck, don't you? But he was also fortunate there that he chose to go the right way. We're now above Halberg, who's still leading. There's the spin. Oh,
he span
so unlucky.
him. So, and then, of course, so what we hadn't seen is the car that almost span has lost so much time.
And this is Halberg. Presumably he's just dropped it. We haven't seen, but he must have just... There's some marks. There's so many marks that it's hard to tell, but he must have just dropped it on his own because there was no one there with him.
I wonder if the drone would have it. I guess not. I guess not. Oh... So Halberg, our TQ man, remember, the top qualifier, Patrick Halberg, who's P2 in the standings, has gone out. Thomas Merstad will really want to capitalise on this. Raila and Vainika go through. Semi-final 2. Pasi Penttinen and Thomas Ekmerstad on row 1. Elias Svensson, row 2 with Ronald Baldins. Alex Gustafsson and Marco Ringenberg. This is a tough semi-final, it really is. Ekmerstad now has the most to gain or lose here. Championship leader by some margin, has just seen his nearest competitor drop out. On the outside though, Pasi Penttinen's going to get the whole shot. Ekmerstad drops into P2. Hold on to that there, and he runs out wide. Penttinen's gone wide. Ekmerstad looks at the inside, touches the wall. Penttinen just holds on. Ekmerstad holds on to second place through the long right hand, and we wait now as they come up over the crest. And Ekmerstad is still in there. It's Baldins who's got up into P3, look at the black livery with the orange number on the front. So a battle between them maybe for that spot, but Ekmerstad's got to go through Hal now. If you're looking at, he's leading the standings by 15 points already, and Halberg's not going to be there. Yeah, and sitting second at this moment of the race isn't necessarily the best place to be when only 2 go up, because the guys at Joker early on are going to get some clear air in theory. Well, that is going to... But you also come out into traffic, don't you? So that sort of dispels that theory immediately. Ekmerstad went for the inside into turn 4 on the opening lap, and that's such a risk, isn't it? We've seen already in junior cross car how that door can just close and then you're met with a sideways cross car in front of you. That didn't happen though. That's Elias Svensson, I think. Is it? No, is Svensson in P4? I think Svensson's still out, or is that Gustafsson? Gustafsson showing as P4 on the ladder, but I haven't seen him on the shot for a minute. Ekmerstad's going to go for the Joker now. This is to try and get himself some clear air to try and beat Penttinen. He needs to really hope that he clears Gustafsson on the exit. He's going to do that if Gustafsson can't get the undercut on the Joker merge. That's worked really well for Ekmerstad, and now he needs to absolutely get the hammer down to not only leapfrog Baldins, but to try and get himself the best possible starting position for the final. Yeah, lovely job. Sideways up in turn 3, but through nonetheless. Penttinen leading from Baldins, Ekmerstad, Gustafsson P4. So Svensson, remember Elias Svensson, who's down to P5, Hal, is the driver who won both rounds at Hodges and then was DQ'd from the first one for the exhaust muffler issue. Light silencer, not a cheat as such, the wrong part. You know, it's not like I've put this on here to win, and he proved on day 2 with an emphatic win as Penttinen comes out in the lead in front of Baldins. So the leader Joker's back to the lead. Great tactics by them, but it has put Baldins right there. You don't want any contact. Ronald Baldins looks out wide and then looks to the inside line, but Ekmerstad is right there. So that's really played into Ekmerstad's hands, hasn't it? Because all it's going to do is hold Baldins up by getting right on the back of the leader after Joker. It's a great spotting by the leader's team to get him in and out and maintain track position, but they need to drive sensibly now, don't they? Baldins is going to Joker and drop out of this fight for the final places, unfortunately for him. Ekmerstad, I thought was going to take a risk there, Hal. Totally, you don't want to go up the inside there, do you? Ekmerstad putting a banger of a lap there as well. Penttinen being closed down by Ekmerstad, but there's not going to be enough time. Pasi Penttinen going to take the win. Ekmerstad going to go through in P2. Baldins drops to 3rd place. Elias Svensson, the winner from Hollius, not going to make the final here on day 1 in Kouvola. Gustafsson and Ringenberg drop down 2. Ekmerstad shaking his head on the slowing down lap, but unnecessarily so, I think. Really important to make the final. Okay, dropped a couple of points there, but doesn't really matter. Both front row cars through, Hal, as well. Neither of the front row. Oh, they had. Sorry, Andy, they had quite big contact there. Again, lucky not to just. I mean, the suspension's strong, but if you just hit it at the wrong angle, as we've seen so many times, it's quite easy to do more damage than you would like. It's a real funnel there, isn't it? There's no, it's not like curb and barrier, it's just barrier, and if you go for the gap, you've got to be absolutely sure. I'd rather go for a gap there in a car than in a kart, because your wheels are exposed. You know, you can run a door down that barrier as long as you keep your wheels straight. In effect, if you're in the gap, you'll stay in the gap. But in a buggy where the tyres are open, that tyre will grip at any point and just whip the car out of your hands, as we saw in the junior cross car, semi. Pasi Penttinen 255.4 from Thomas Ekmerstad. Raila was a 258, I think, but it's kind of all immaterial once they get through to the final. 4-2 to Finland, apparently. I hope you weren't looking for any spoilers. But that's how the semi-final's gone in the ice hockey. So Niklas,
I'm glad you've clarified the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be football, is it?
Cricket. We've got sports we're good at, or at least better than the Finns.
Yeah, true.
Rallying's not really one of them.
No, yes, that would be a big ask. Oja, Osterberg, Hattala, Hukka, Yuga and Nojin. The revs just seem to be getting higher and higher, don't they, as you wait for the light. Osterberg gets away well, maybe going to try and go around the outside of Oja. I think he might try and brave it out. Surely going to put a wheel in the gravel there. Just holds on, bounces it through. Hukka in the background gets up super high. Contact there. Osterberg just avoids being collected in the background by Huttala. Huttala with a big wheelie, having had a little touch, and then Hukka has got all tied up in the background as well. So it's Osterberg from Huttala in P1 and P2.
Quite a risk from Osterberg, isn't it, to run that deep? You need to carry the momentum so you don't become a victim of leaving the inside open, but you have to bounce over that really uneven gravel just on the outside. I'm so glad they're not calling track limits on that bit of the circuit.
Yeah, me too.
Gives the opportunity for the cars to run out wide, but it is a big risk to let the car move around like that.
That's what I would like to see more of from track limits, is deep, deep gravel, where if you go through it, it's as much of a risk as it is a reward. You know, like hitting a bollard and getting a 3-second penalty is always a bit boring, isn't it? Like, look at the spin. Was it Vaby? Or yeah, it's Vaby, wasn't it, who went off with a big spin, sticking a wheel through the dirt?
For me, that's the solution. It's not having track limits, because for safety reasons, for the way you carry the momentum, you've got to have areas of the circuit that you can't go. But instead of having bollards, have big curbs, have really aggressive runoff like we've got here,
big
so that you do,
yeah,
so you don't go there. But also, on the rare occasion that someone does go there, it's massively rewarded. That's not to say that people should go there, but you know, it just adds
a little bit more of a risk than it is a reward.
Absolutely.
Like, look at turn one here is the perfect example of it for me.
But you've got, I agree. But at the same time, you have to discourage people from heading straight into that wall on the outside, because that's a safety risk. So track limits are usually there. In my opinion, track limits need to be to stop people getting into harm's way by running too wide on a fast corner, not by affecting the lap time by clipping a cone.
So I know exactly what I mean. Yuga has been Joker, Hattala has not, and the gap between them is only 1.5, Hal. This is super close. Hattala coming through now, going to go standard lap, because he needs basically to try and make a bit of time. But to me, Yuga in the background is driving tidier and faster. Osterberg comes out and is going to merge into P2, leaving Hattala to Joker on the last lap. And look at Yuga. Just looks tidy, like the angles on the car are much less than they are out front for Hattala.
Yeah, the gap's 1.2, so comfortably within the window to get the position once Hattala takes the Joker on this final tour.
So what is it, 0.8, isn't it? It's really way closer.
They're jumping a lot higher now, aren't they? Now that corner, now turn 4's cleaned up, and they carry the momentum a lot better up the hill there, which is actually quite a steep hill when you walk it. Just getting lots of air.
Little mistake there from Yuga, with a bit too much opposite lock in the previous corner, but I think Hattala would have to have the absolute perfect Joker. He's right on the back of Osterberg. Osterberg going to go on a spin in the Joker, but Hattala's gone round, tried his hardest, but it's not enough. It's Osterberg and Yuga who go through from semi-final 3. Yuga from the back row. Great drive. Where did Yuga qualify overall then? P15, Hal. Only 3 places off, not making it through.
So close this class, isn't it?
Yeah,
it literally is. Throw a load of balls up in the air and see which one you catch.
But, what I love about that as well is where did Osterberg... Osterberg qualified 6th, yeah. Yuga qualified 15th. And to me, Yuga was closing Osterberg down at the end of the run. It's good, close racing. What happens to Hukka here? So on the outside, big old...
They just get tangled up, I think. Or he runs wide. Frustrating.
Gutting there, because he would have got away with that, wouldn't he? And there was a car out there to be collected.
What's also interesting in this class is the transition to the FIA spec cross-car chassis. They're now getting to the point where, I mean, to be fair, the FIA spec machines were not as quick in the first instance, were they? But now the Speedcar Wonder specifically is so good that that organic transition is happening in the class.
It meets the FIA category?
Yes.
Yeah. So the TN5, of course, appeared last year with the Wonder, didn't it?
The year before as well, wasn't it?
Did it really?
Yeah,
Was it the year before now? Yeah. Who raced it last year? Was it Katie, or did Katie do it the year before?
Katie was last year. Thierry and Timmy raced at the...
That's right, yeah. Do you remember engines and all sorts? That's the development cycle of a new car, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's good to see that it's getting there. Osterberg and Yuga with a good result there, and we're going to go. Molly had a catch-up earlier on with Isaac Hookvist.
Anders, you're here working on Isak Sjökvist's car. What's happened?
The clutch is broken. So a quick change. So I have one each car before, and so I give some advice.
It's all hands on deck now, yeah?
Sorry?
It's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
How long does it take to change a clutch?
About 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. Have a look at that. That is one damaged clutch. Wow. Oh, and there's Isak, also getting his hands dirty.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
When did you realize the clutch was gone?
I think on the second last lap, I felt the gears were like not getting into the right places. So I was just crossing my fingers to cross the line without some gear issues, and then I just reported directly like we need to check the clutch. So came in here and yeah, everything was completely destroyed inside actually. So we changed everything.
It's quite chaotic.
So here is the clutch. We will make it to the semi-finals for sure.
Yeah. Good.
I'm confident.
Fair play for being confident in that situation, because there is a lot of work going on there. Just a message from Reinis Nitish, who's obviously watching at home, and he's been competing in Estonian rallycross, I think, in cross car, against some of the competitors who are doing very well here. I think Reinis fancies his chances. Come back, Reinis, come back. I'm sure he might appear in Riga. Unfortunately, I won't be in Riga. Myself, I'll be commentating Extreme E, so Johan won't be in Riga either. It's a really unfortunate scheduling clash. How Ridge is going to be there. David Addison is going to be covering for me, the brilliant British Touring Car Championship commentator from the UK, who also loves his rallycross. He's commentated rallycross a decade, hasn't he? So he'll be great. Wheels back on that. Getting a message as well that Johan Kristoffersson has just bolted 4 new tyres onto the Polo. So Johan obviously going all in at the semi-final stage. We wondered when they might start wheeling out the new rubber. Now the Mercedes, Pontus Lindros, thank you for the information. We sent us a couple of things. He's a bit of a local expert. And the Mercedes has a BMW hybrid electric motor in the drivetrain as well, which he doesn't use off the start, I guess because it would give too much wheel spin, but he does use for the rest of the race. So let's see whether or not he can put that to good effect. It's Olli Lahti on the pole. The Mercedes is going to hold on the outside. I think it's Ryler, isn't it? Yes, Ryler in the yellow and purple with the bonnet absolutely smashed to bits, who drops into P3.
Ryler's a busy guy, isn't he? Literally just climbed out of the cross car from having made it through to the final and immediately into
mate,
open two-wheel drive.
How pumped up do you reckon Ryler is right now? Because I'd be.
He's pretty used to it, isn't he? Yeah, and he's also one of the most chilled out people in the paddock.
Maybe this is what he does just to sort of keep his pulse up a bit. You know, I bet his relaxed pulse rate's like 18 or something, isn't it? You know, and he just, you talk to him and he'd be super chill, usual finish. What about that, though? Hybrid drivetrain, that's what you were saying again, Hal, about open two-wheel drive. Yeah, it's kind of, it's bonkers, isn't it, really? It's like, it's the limit of being allowed to do stuff. There'll come a point where someone will do something ultra factory team and we'll have to ban it because it will be too expensive and clever, but that big old Merc with a hybrid drivetrain, who'd have thought?
And another good example of the growth of this championship, remember there was half a dozen or 6 non-English speakers cars in the first couple of races when we first started doing this together, Andrew, and this class is really growing. Okay, we haven't got the guys necessarily who were in Hüljes this weekend, but there's a lot of local Finns, there's a lot of Baltic drivers who I'm sure will join for the Latvian round as well, and then we're back to Sweden. So this class is growing too. I know there's some British and Irish competitors looking at it to come up here and compete as well. So yeah, fantastic to see such a variety and also the growth of the class.
Johansson has jokered from P2 to P3 and he's now putting pressure back on Ryler. So Ryler could have with clear air, you could argue could get away, but it seems to me that Johansson has the measure in pace, and what Johansson has done there, in fact, Tiger, he's out, the champion is out again.
What a torrid day.
Really torrid, he's having a torrid season, Hal, isn't he, really, so far. Anyway, Lahti leads from Ryler, but remember the top 3 go through because there are only 2 semi-finals for this category.
Really going to play into Victor Johansson's hands, isn't it, having scored good points.
Ryler's gone joker, so this is to try and get in top 3. Going to come out alongside Nilsson, is it? Would I hope to come out just in front, but if he can hang on to the back of Nilsson now, effectively, you're booking a spot. Oh, Look at Simon's car. Why is it parked there? Anywhere but there. You'd have turned right, wouldn't you, and gone over by the Cooper tyre branding on the inside.
I would definitely be running away from it, if nothing else.
Oh, I wouldn't be looking. You don't want to get collected out there. The BMW that is the want of everyone who wants to try it. The Mercedes is going brilliantly. Do you remember it appeared at Arvika last year? I think that was the first time I'd seen it. I'm sure you've seen it before then, Hal. And now, I don't know, it just seems it seems a bit more dialed. It's a big old beast to be using on a track like this.
Bigger circuit than Arvika. Arvika's very small, isn't it, really?
Larty coming through much closer than I thought it was going to be. And the Mercedes has a look up the inside over the line. Larty takes it from Johansson by 0.086. Wasn't expecting that. So we said, and just as we were saying, the Mercedes looked dialed. Really
a great final lap from Janssen, the fastest of the race, to try and get there and sneak the win.
Oh, Rylo's shaking his head. Off the line then. We say the Merc doesn't use its hybrid off the line, and then apparently switches it on once he's into race mode. It's such a big car. It's very DTM-like. That's what I like about it. I think it's just... It shouldn't, like if you said, what car do you expect to see in open two-wheel drive? That's not it, is it?
Well, we know about open two-wheel drive, so, yes, it is, but as a racing car, it's absolutely not, is it? It's like the estate, remember the estate cars that were in Arvika last year from the same Omen squad?
Who was it that loved that? Was it Cabot Bigham? It was, wasn't it? He's getting the after
station wagon.
Yeah, he's getting the after it in the station. It was brilliant. Sorry for my American accent there, everyone. But it was so good, and I love that. Yeah, he's really getting after it. It's just,
Oh!
Wow, no way. Huge accident down at turn 1. So that's what happened with Simon Tiger. Can we see that again?
Wow.
If we could see that again, that would be great.
Crash.
So what happened? Have we got it from any earlier or any other angles? That's massive. Can we see, let's see that. Can we run that again? The previous, there's 2 different angles there. Can we see the first one again if it's in the truck? Oh, so it's on its roof. 2, 3, 4. 4.5 rolls?
Yeah, it slid 5.
Off. 4 3/4.
We'll call that 5. It slid for we don't know how many times it went over on the curb on the inside. It was sliding when it came into shot. It's sliding along on its roof.
So what happened there? We just don't know, do we?
Tiger's steering broken on the front left. Looks like it's got quite a lot of toe in.
I'm just wondering, was Simon on the inside and the guys tried to come around the outside of him and touched wheels? Yeah, had Simon already got a problem? We just don't know, do we? We got nothing from any earlier. We're hearing, unfortunately, from the truck. We think we'll happily take another look at that if you want to while we're getting a clear-up done. If not, it would be good to talk to Simon Tiger and find out what happened there. Molly, I know you'll be in the paddock, but when Simon comes back in, maybe you can find him and have a chat with Simon and see if he can shed any light on the situation for us.
There's a lot of damage to that.
So Molly's just radioed me. She's watching the rest of the ice hockey game with the fans. So I don't know. Maybe we can find Molly from one of our track cameras. She did say she'd lost her voice last night. So we did tell her to try not to talk too much, didn't we, Hal?
Ice hockey though.
Well, you're disappointed in her. You've got to be careful in Finland, mate. It's national sport over here.
I don't care. Molly's a motorsporter through and through.
Oh, hang on. Whoa, got the big guns in. Oof. Okay, Molly, what's going on?
Well, there's how many minutes left?
5.
So there's 5 minutes left of an ice hockey game between USA and Finland. As you can see, we have a view of what's happened out on track there. But I just wanted to get that experience of what it's like when Finland actually win this ice hockey game. But how exciting has it been?
You go up there and that.
It's been very good. If Finland wins, Finland goes to the final tomorrow. And we're going to tomorrow to watch rally, and then we go to look the finals.
Brilliant. Yeah, I guess you saw what happened just now.
Pretty rough. He went on the roof, and then he glided like 30 meters.
The commentators are telling me to go and find these guys instead of having my focus on an ice hockey game. So
yeah, but you have to prioritize the more important, because Finland's going to win.
So guys, apparently the ice hockey right now is more important.
Well, Molly, I'm not going to argue with a couple of dudes wearing like horns on hats and stuff, and they're absolutely loving it, aren't they? He's my kind of guy. You have to prioritise. He said when he said about him sliding 30, it sounds to me like he's slid more than most of the ice hockey players have on the way up to turn 1 on his roof. So
we could hypothesise over what's happened. I think he's been on the outside, gone to turn in, they've had contact. It's just tipped the car over. What are we going to see here?
Here it is.
It's already on its roof by this stage.
There's bits in the road, look. So there has been contact because there's pieces coming off Tiger's car. It's just whether or not... It's the way Simon's going so slowly. I'm wondering if he was already going slowly. Do you see what I mean? Was he going slow on the inside line and the guys tried to pass him around the outside, or... That is a big crash. But then if you don't often see rolls like that in rallycross. Oh, mate, that's a shame. Look at that. Absolutely gutting. Van Hatalo, Jarno Van Hatalo in the Toyota Starlet. Ah, mate. We're sorry, Jarno, because we know what this sport will mean, and that could be the end of the season, couldn't it, Hal? You know, at this level, on the other hand, they might have it not. They won't have it rebuilt for tomorrow, but you never know. He might have another shell at home. But that's there he goes. Oh, good on ya. That's a trudge, isn't it? Oh, look at it. It's gutting. Applause from the crowd. Good stuff. Nice to see. Put on a show. Didn't go his way this time. Maybe next time. Okay, here we go. Semi 2. Gabrielsen, Venäläinen, Enlund, Niemi, Saari and Seppala. Or Seppala. Marcus Gronholm taught me that. The A with the dots over it, it's an A. Well, great start on the front row for Gabrielsen, but Tuomas and Venäläinen going to come around the outside on the run to the first corner in the Smurfmobile. Gets it up into the lead. People riding the gravel trap in the background, but Venäläinen and the fire-breathing Datsun Finn have managed to get the whole shot around the outside of Lucas Gabrielsen in the Toyota Starlet.
I love the Starlet. I also love the fact that we're in different countries, the two-wheel drive rallycross categories just look so different. There's Lotuses and Vauxhall VX220s and BMW M3s and stuff in the UK, and these cars up here are just so... Wow, Tomi Enlund, that's a great move into the Joker, getting up the inside and then forcing Niemi wide to not let that place go. Great move from Enlund, picks up the throttle, nose of the car rises. That could make the difference between making the final and not.
Brilliant, really, really good move. Decisive, wasn't it? And it was only the tiniest mistake. He only ran a metre or so wide, but slotted it in that gap.
But yeah, such different cars in the different regions of open two-wheel drive, and I think as this class grows in this championship, we'll see more variety as well. But I love the fact that Finns use pretty old body shells, really, to do such great things with.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, and another similar move almost coming up there. Nearly, wasn't it? Just could have got alongside a bit more, could have forced it in.
That double apex really doesn't lend itself to trying to sneak up the inside because it tightens up on you just as you've got the nose in.
Everyone reacting there to the Joker, aren't they? Oh, two wheels almost over. Get it lit in that gravel trap. Come on.
All that hard work undone.
Enlund, no. So everybody responded to Enlund's Joker, didn't they? Well, the two cars that went in are responding to Enlund's Joker. Now we see, is that Niemi running wide? Enlund going to have another look up the inside. Is that another gift? Venäläinen still leads in the background. What's going on the right-hand side? There it is from the drone. So we can't see Niemi in the battle was further back. That's such a shame for Enlund.
It looks like Enlund's got him, but I don't know where that loop is in the timing system. Venäläinen, though, out front, taking the Joker. No, Enlund is behind, has another look up the inside. He's going to run side by side, doesn't quite get the traction off the final corner.
Look at the angles, look at the angles. Saari making a move up the inside of Seppala. Seppala drops back. So Saari is up into P3. Yeah, to P3, yes, Venäläinen and Gabrielsen out front. There you can see Gabrielsen, Venäläinen is on the exit already. So Tuomas Venäläinen qualified in P4. But looks like going through to the front row. Remember, top 3 go through. Enland desperately trying to find another pass, sticks up the inside again. Oh, hello, have some of that.
Bit of frustration now, isn't there?
Yeah,
he was so lucky not to go over from that contact earlier on.
Venäläinen takes the win and goes through. Gabrielsen going to go through in P2, and I think Seppala is going to take that last position. Enland takes him out of the line. No! Oh, Enland's got really naughty on the last lap there. Niemi's going to go through in P3. And I'm afraid Seppala was cleaned out there, Hal. Sorry, but you got to call it sometimes.
Yeah, I was looking at the lap times, not expecting anything too dramatic to happen in the final corner.
Enland, I do understand Enland's frustration, but unfortunately they're properly cleaned out. No. Do you think, is that the point where you're driving back going, I know what I've done? Because he will know, won't he? The previous move on the MR2 was aggressive, but the move in the final corner, no, I'm not sure.
So Venäläinen makes the best start by some margin to take the ideal line, carry the momentum round the first corner. There's Enland in the back of Niemi in turn 1, but nothing too untoward. This is the move up the inside. This is a great pass, like you say. Just forces Niemi out. Niemi didn't want to go in the Joker then, but had no choice.
That's what's so clever, isn't it? How the move's good, but to go Joker as well. Earlier on, we saw the opposite, where we felt Vranckx shouldn't have gone Joker with a similar move. Yeah. But this time it was killer because it forced the guy to go where he didn't want to go. Here's the last corner. Oh. Enland goes up on 2 wheels, so goes from P4 with waiting for
and that wasn't malicious. That was just contact at the wrong moment.
Yeah, and clipping stuff. So now Enland starts. To be fair, I tell you what, he made up some ground on the last lap, didn't he? Because he's a long way off the back of the pack. Here's Niemi making the mistake. So now Enland's going, I'll get you.
This is a look to the inside. Oh, that's...
So that is the pass on Seppala.
And I think that's broken the suspension on Seppala already, hasn't it? Yes, I think.
Right, so Seppala's going to... Here's the last corner. So here comes Venäläinen.
He's gone.
Watch in the background. Gabrielsen comes through, and here's Enland with a dot. Okay, now he gets. The one thing I'll say is he gets launched over the curb.
Yeah, he's in the air.
Yeah,
but
so
I mean,
nothing. But you would know that you were going to get launched over those curbs, and I think I would be.
So I played Dirt 2, whatever it is, online quite a lot with some of my mates. Well, I did before I got horrendously busy. So in the winter, and in Lowiak, when you run wide and going down to the hairpin, you can hit the curb and it picks you up in the air. It's a great excuse to hit the cars in the hairpin, but ultimately you know it's going to happen, and I think that's the same there, isn't it? He's hit the curb, you know the car's going to get pitched up, but yeah, you can't be wholly to blame in that situation either.
Molly, what's going on? What's the score?
Well, it started to get quite exciting because America, or USA I should say, scored with 3 minutes left, so everyone here is holding their breath for Finland in the ice hockey game. I know we're at Rallycross, but you know, if you love sport, you love many different kinds of sport, and I know Finland love their ice hockey, right?
Yes. The ice hockey is the #1 sport in Finland, and we like Rallycross too. But this is now the most important.
How much time is left?
There is under 1 minute left.
9 minutes, 10 seconds. 49 seconds.
49 seconds, guys.
Yeah, it's getting tight.
We've got to stay with this, haven't we?
Yeah, more and more people are coming over to have a look. It's clear that this means a lot to everyone. It means a lot with Rallycross, but ice hockey
he's going to have to get up, isn't he? He's getting the flags ready. What's he doing?
Can you promise something big's going to happen if you win now? Are you going to put on a show for us?
I don't know.
Maybe.
It is Finns we're talking about, guys.
Yeah, it's Finns.
They don't get that excited about things.
They're so keen to watch the game. They don't want to be talking to modders.
There they are in the middle of the screen.
The semi-finals.
Look, there's other people looking at their phones down there too.
If we go to the finals and win the finals, then we're going to do some crazy shit. Then we're going to bathe in the...
Come on, 49 seconds must be up. What's going on? Is there extra time?
49 seconds.
Oh, it stops. They stopped the clock. Oh, it's a time now.
Oh, Molly, we're building up the tension. God.
I
think we know what he means. I think we know what he means. Right, I've no idea. Who went through from the semis there, Hal? I don't know.
Well, we don't know what the result is of that last one, because who did actually cross the line?
I don't think Enland made it through. Enland went through... where?
stop. Yeah, they're playing. They're playing. How much time is left?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Here we go.
Oi, oi, oi.
Listen to the commentator.
Tell us what's happening.
20 seconds left.
25. 25.
USA empty net. And
What are they doing? I know nothing about ice hockey.
15 seconds left.
You're now the commentator.
I'm guessing they're playing ice hockey, Mo.
USA has the puck. And it's somewhere.
Go on, lad.
7 seconds. 7 seconds. And Finland's going to the finals. Finland's going to the finals.
Brilliant.
Now we have some RallyX to watch.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, well, there we go.
Your job might be at risk, mate.
Molly, well done. Brilliant. That's lovely to see. I love the fact we've held up the lights semi-finals so the crowd can watch the end of the semi-final of ice hockey. So, yeah, it's Finland beat the USA and they're going through. And tomorrow, that's pretty much... Well, mind you, do you remember last year when we were in Oulu and the final was on the last night there, wasn't it? We went down to a bar to try and find people watching the final. We could only find a few because they'd all stayed home to watch it.
Yeah.
Was it Toppy that was telling us they'll watch it at home and then go out after?
Yeah, Toppy was there and had to rush
We thought
back.
he was going to come out and he didn't come out, did he? He was watching at home.
Always a disappointment.
Yeah, Toppy, you're let down. Oh, is this what we're waiting for? Still waiting on Enland's car.
Hats off EVS. A replay.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon
Where
it's
is
still
that? That's on the
outside of
circuit
turn one.
exit, so he's got most of the way off.
That is on the outside of turn one.
Down the exit road. Really would like to drive here.
Would you? Yeah? High on the list? Where's highest on the list?
Whoosh. Whoosh. That is a very difficult question. What, as an only track?
Huh?
As an only track?
What do you mean an only track?
Well, like the one track you could race at?
No, like if you
if you want a list,
like to race at the
let's crack
most,
on.
there must be a track that you'd like to.
Oh, Julius, of course, would love to race at Julius.
Yeah.
You haven't raced at Julius.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I've driven it. How bless him. One of the first things he said to me when I messaged him and said, mate, I've driven a lights car around Hollius. He was like, I'm really pleased for you, which was lovely of him because he's driven lots and lots of supercars and various different things, which I'm super jealous of, and he does a brilliant job. It's a great driver, Hal. Yeah, the first thing he said was, oh, congrats, mate, I'm really pleased. And it was great. It was the circuit lived up to everything you've ever seen.
I was impressed.
Watching it.
I'm not going to give anything away, but yeah.
Really?
Good job.
Thank you, mate. Very kind. Skins, nice one. So that, yeah.
I mean, given your performance in an RX 150, I was astounded.
I know, yeah. Actually, I wasn't bad, was it, the test of the RX 150? But it took me 3-4 events to get
you
my
did
head around
chase
it.
Chrissy Palmer one time.
3 times, cut off switch.
The one event.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I was a bit unlucky.
You'll have to come back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to do that at some point. What do we got? Supercar Lights semi-final. Yeah, so it was good fun anyway. Hollius was a great track, so I'll tick that off now.
That's up there. Here.
Yeah.
Hell. Lowiak I'd like to drive.
No, there's a lot of this. See, so I've ticked
No,
off
I've driven Lowiak, sorry.
Have you? Yes, you have, haven't you?
So, it's, yeah.
Well, I kind of ticked off my favourite traditional track. Now I quite fancy I'd go on a nitro track. But it's a gap jump. I'm thinking whether or not I'm fascinated.
I mean, when Kevin Eriksson and Timmy Hansen are scared before going out.
I know, and that's what I'm fascinated by, is how I would feel about approaching a gap, because a lot of the drivers are, a bit scared of it first. Backerud, Larson.
Just physics, isn't it?
That's what Liam said. Yeah, and Ollie Bennett. Some people who saw I've ridden a motocross bike, it's fine. Olofsson, Enland, Högqvist, Janssen, Oskarsson and Walfridsson. Great start on the front row for Olofsson immediately. Going to take a significant lead. Walfridsson coming up, looks to cross to the inside, but ends up boxed in 4th place. Nicely done, Olofsson and Enland. And I think it's, is it Janssen who's trying to come around the outside, and it's dirt everywhere. Well, Walfridsson cuts back to the inside. Does he need to see what's going on in the background here? Yeah, Walfridsson comes out 4th from a bit of carnage in the background, but everybody is through.
Högqvist took a big hit to the rear from Matt Oskarsson in turn 4. He was looking to repay the work done by the Hedgestrom Motorsport mechanics to get that clutch changed ahead of the semi-finals. Not working out for him at the moment. Walfridsson actually gained there, didn't he?
Yeah.
By that bit of contact. But up front, Simon Olofsson again where he wants to be.
If you look at the gap now, Hal, from P4 to P5, you know, Walfridson's only got to be eyes forward, as there's no point in him covering anything from behind, in my opinion. He's got to try and close that gap down. Is it Mattis Janssen, I think, in front of him? Yeah, Mattis Janssen.
Yeah, but Oskarsson behind, but some way back. So, like you say, no threat there and can get his head down. Olofsson not under pressure from Enland, as you might expect him to be. Enland drove brilliantly last year in some of the NRX Next races, didn't he? He looked like he was going to duck into the Joker there. I mean, you could risk that. What's the gap to Walfridsson? It's just not enough. Walfridsson Jokers now. So Walfridsson in the Joker. I think he should. This has been a stellar lap from Hookvist.
That was to cover Hookvist, wasn't it? Because he knows that if Hookvist gets past, he's got no chance. So he has actually covered.
Track position is king, isn't it? Because now if someone gets a puncture up front, you've already got that position in hand. It's all well and good knowing you've got the pace and trying to run away, but you can never be sure of anything in this sport, least of all problems that might occur later in the race for anyone up front. Olofsson now 1.2 seconds ahead
of Enland. Enland was Enland last year was P3 in NRX Next with 3 times P2, a win and 2 third places.
And about 1,000 punctures and broken suspension. We had a really difficult time, didn't he?
Like said, Olofsson injured himself after he had a bit of a torrid time at Utah, and then injured himself at the next one.
Enland's results don't show the pace he had, because he had a lot of issues as well, didn't he?
Listen to the gravel down there at that first, as they go from the tarmac onto the loose. This is a brilliant performance by Olofsson. So Olofsson was P2 and P5 at Holliers. Looking back to last year, so just had that win and then dipped off. So this could be a great indicator of Olofsson's form. Into the Joker lap with a very clear lead over a very capable opponent in Martin Enland. Olofsson is going to take semi-final number 1. There's only 2 semis for lights. So he goes through with the win. And it's Enland and Mattis Janssen. Walfridsson holds on to 4th place. But Olofsson, Enland, Janssen going through. So that's your P1, your P2 and your P4 driver have gone through in terms of their qualifying positions to the semi. No contest.
Shukvist made a good start, didn't he? Tucked onto the back of Enland through the first corner, got to the apex, was looking up the inside, and Oskarsson, I think, is just going to outbrake himself, distracted maybe a bit by that fight for position with Jimmy Walfridsson, and just collected the rear of Shukvist, which ultimately spelled the end of his challenge at the front. Walfridsson back for a full season, doing a tidy job, but Olofsson was pretty untouchable again. Like we were saying earlier, Andrew, when he's in this groove, he looks pretty unbeatable, doesn't he?
You wonder if it gets a run of good results, Hal, if the confidence will come, which gives you the edge, which means that it continues. You always talk about getting the monkey off your back, you know, of whatever it happens to be. And for Simon, maybe it's that up-down form, I've done brilliantly, and then you lose confidence because you know in the past that's happened. If you can get a string of good results, maybe you lose that demon of what about when it goes wrong, and he'll continue to perform. I hope so. Rainis Nittis says hello to everyone. I don't know if he meant that for us to go and say hello to people in the paddock or not. By the way, hello from Rainis to anyone who's watching. Send him a message. Light his phone up, people. Ola Henry Steinsholt, Martin Jonsson on the front row from Jesse Kallio, Birgit, Kasper Janssen and Lars-Erik Haug. Kallio got a good start on row 2. Unlikely to be able to get up into anywhere other than P3 though at the moment, as he gets squeezed out by Martin Jonsson. But your leader is Ola Henry Steinsholt, the pole man, up over the crest.
Oh, Kallio all out of shape, coming down the hill behind Martin Jonsson there. Hasn't been the weekend so far that Kallio would be looking for. It is.
Looks to the inside. He's got it hooked up, hasn't he? Well, what next for Kallio, Hal? Because he did Academy, didn't he? Then went on to do Super 1600.
He's rallying now. He's competing in a Fiesta Rally 4, I think it is.
Yeah.
So he's focusing on that at the moment. Did RX2E last year. Was
steady on now. Steady on.
was disappointed not to win the RX2E title. Took it to the final round with Guillaume de Ridder, but just didn't quite get it sealed at the end, and was pretty gracious in defeat. But he was more disappointed than I expected as well for someone as laid back. Spent quite a bit of time with Jesse over the last few years, certainly when he was doing RX Academy. And a very tidy driver. Ducks into the Joker.
Mistake from Jonsson in front of him, Hal. Definitely. You could see a difference, can't you, between backing it in and hanging onto it, and Jonsson was hanging onto it. So Kallio, I think, is going to come out of the Joker with less than the Joker deficit, if you like, between them.
Yeah, for sure. He was all over the back of him before, and this is about grip position for the final now, isn't it? They're not really being trouble from behind.
He needs to get a row up, ideally, doesn't he, Kallio, if he can? And I think Jonsson, well, Jonsson can wait a lap, but if I were Jonsson spotters, knowing how quick Kallio is in clear air, you'd send it's too late. It's too late.
I would leave him out now, just in case,
Yeah, but then cover off Birgit behind, because Birgit's not far off, only 1.5 back. I mean, at the minute, I suppose 3.2 is enough. I'd go now. What are they going to do? Leave him out? There we go. Hal's right.
But we know how questionable my Joker strategies are, so...
I don't know about that, mate. You've had some good results.
Yeah, but you don't make the strategy yourself. You just do what you're told.
True.
It's funny, last weekend Anton Markman won the opening round of the European Championship. He jokered on lap 5. Enzo Ida went and jokered on lap 6 from second, and Anton retook the lead. I asked him at the end of the day, why did you do that? He said, I don't know. That's what I was told to do.
Yeah.
You just do what the spotter tells you, because they've got the global picture of what's going on in the race. You don't know.
How far back was Ida?
He was outside. He was within the window, but they knew that Anton would get it back.
Right. So I wondered, if someone's right close behind you, sometimes you go on lap 5 because it gives them no alternative. Oh, over the line.
Kallio's done it.
He does get it. So Kallio gets into P2. Steinsholt's gone through. Kallio gets onto row 2 and Jonsson onto row 3. So we said that, didn't we? We thought that was what would happen, but both the pole men have won. So it's Olofsson versus Steinsholt on the front row for the final. Kallio moves up to row 2, where he started the semi from, but he's managed to get in front of Martin Jonsson, who started on row 1 and now will move back to row 3 for the final.
We've barely talked about him, haven't we? But Steinsholt, what a great job he's doing.
He is, yeah.
What did you think of his performance in Julius? Because this weekend he's been pretty impressive.
I went and saw him and he said, I'm still learning. What's hard? Lots of things are hard. We'd had this chat at the start of it was Friday, actually, after practice. And he did a good job there. He won a session on day 2, I think it was. Let me have a look. It was on day 2, won a session and qualified 6th. Made it through to the final, got 4th, and you just thought, OK, this is going well. And then looking at today, Hal, he's gone another level up. It was quite a ride from Kallio, wasn't it?
Yeah. Or critically, though, keeping the car in one piece.
Made it work. I often think the difference between experience and not is more tricks in the bag when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
I used to say that a lot when I was working at rally schools. They were like, what's the difference? I said, the difference is that when it goes wrong, you've got another backup plan. And you see that with people when they pull the handbrake, they do something, anything to keep the car on or to stop the car from crashing. And that comes with experience. Molly, where you at?
Well, I'm on the pre-grid, actually right next to the tyre cleaning area, so it's loud. And here is Joel Kristoffersen, team manager at the JC team. What are your thoughts now, just before the first semi-final?
Yeah, it's a tough one here. So P3 for Sondre. So trying to go up in the bumper on U1 and trying to have P out of turn 2. So that's the goal.
And just out of curiosity, who's on the radio? Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Sondre now after the launch to discuss how he should tune it in for the race here now.
And what are the words, the final words to him?
No, but just keep calm and be steady on the throttle in the start and don't spin out. So, and we hope to have a good result.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
So there we go. That's a bit of an insight into the planning that does go on in the background. As we've always said, you have a plan until turn 1. But he said Evjen needs to get up on the bumper of Johan. If he can do that, if he can keep Kallio out on the outside line, Evjen can claim P2 right at the start. It's Kristoffersen, Kallio, Evjen, Carlsen, Midtschlack and Ostring. Great start on the front row from Kallio. Going to move across. He's been starting strong all day long. It looks like it's going to get Kristoffersen again. Evjen goes backwards, doesn't get his wish. Over the gravel trap on the outside line. Multiple cars. Carlsen drops back into P6. Oh, 3 cars out the wall. Carlsen is out. Facing backwards is Midtschlack in the background. Have we lost another car as well? We've only got 4. We have still got 4 runners. So Michalak is facing the wrong way down the back. We got Hans-Joran Ostreng has made it through into P4, and at the minute it's Evjen behind Kristoffersen, but the leader is Kalliokoski.
Big damage to both Michalak and Anders Carlsen's car, who've both got going in the background. See them coming down the hill. Kristoffersen's piling the pressure onto Kalliokoski, who is an experienced supercar runner. He won't be feeling it as badly as a rookie, and he's putting a bit of a gap through turn 1. He'll know this circuit so much better than Johan. Johan tucks it into the wall in turn 4, going up the hill.
Up over the crest now comes Kalliokoski, going to go defensive on the brakes. We believe Johan's on 4 new tyres from Molly being down in the paddock, radioed up and said, look, they're putting new boots on the Polo. What's he going to do? Does Johan Kristoffersen go Joker this time round? I reckon he might. Lines up towards the inside line. Now he feels he's quicker. Kristoffersen to the Joker. This is where it counts. Kalliokoski's got to outfox a 4-time World Rallycross champion. How can he do it?
No, I don't think, not on the base of that Joker lap. What a brilliant entry to the Joker from Johan Kristoffersen. Absolutely nailed it and got the rotation done nicely into the latter phase of that section. He's on a mission now. Look at the attitude of the car. Sends it into the top of the hill. We'll see it in this shot coming over the jump. I think he's going to be visibly closer than he was. He's eating the gap up.
That's ridiculous. He was 1.6 seconds back as they crossed the timing line from a perfect Joker. Kalliokoski, is he going to respond this time round? Does he go Joker? He does. Straight on for Kalliokoski. This then for the front row in the final. Into the right hander. Watch Kristoffersen on the outside. His Joker, that was perfect. Can Kalliokoski get there? No, he can't. The world champion's got the job done as he needs to. He nails it when he needs to nail it, and that was nailed on. Kristoffersen into the lead.
And very fair from Kalliokoski as well there. Kristoffersen shut the door into the final corner. Kalliokoski could have just picked the throttle up and run Kristoffersen wide. Chose not to do that. Of course, this is going to get him into the final as well. So a great job from the Finnish driver, and he's not being dropped. Look how close he is to the back of Kristoffersen.
He's done a brilliant job, but he will be frustrated. For me, that car's been the fast starter of the day. He's had a couple of brilliant starts, and if he wanted to win, he probably needed to be on the front row. So Kristoffersen going to come through in the left and the right hander now. And Johan Kristoffersen, the championship leader, is going to go through to the front row of the final. Great performance, as we'd expect from the reigning RallyX champion. Kalliokoski does a brilliant job to take P2, and Evjen books a spot in the final in 3rd place. Carnage behind them at turn 1. Ostreng, Michalak and Carlsen involved in that. Carlsen is a DNF, but that was a great drive out front. And it's Kristoffersen just with, it's the perfection, Hal, that it must be so frustrating for everybody else. Talk us through it.
The Fiesta's just so good off the line. The star-built Fiesta with its Pipo engine. He turns in on Kristoffersen. These two have got a lot of racing respect for each other, haven't they? They haven't turned in on each other and aggressively moved each other out of the way. Kalliokoski up front in the background. Very hard to see what went on there, but I think Ostreng got out of shape. Michalak, maybe we'll see from this angle. There's a lock-up from
locks up
Evjen.
and gets into Carlsen's door.
So that's a big jump up in the air through the gravel trap from Ostreng.
So is Carlsen now? So what happens?
He's going to have contact with Evjen, or he's wide, avoiding Evjen.
No, it's Michalak into the back of him.
They've all just locked up,
into the back of Ostreng, and then Carlsen is already a passenger from being on the outside on the gravel.
That's almost a replica of what happened with the Liam Duran Peter Solberg crash 2014 here.
Look at Johan giving just a nudge, just a nudge. I'm going to affect your exit speed. I'm going to be right on your bumper. And then, Hal, you called it, his Joker was absolutely bob on.
You know, when we were with Kevin Hansen in the studio earlier talking about his father Kenneth racing and all the little tricks he had, Johan has those tricks and more in abundance. It's the little nudge just to upset the car. You haven't done anything wrong, but the guy knows you're there, you're in his head, you just... this is an art, and he is a brilliant artist.
He's the master at the minute, isn't he? He really is. He is the master. Kristoffersen through to the final on the front row. Can he make it 3 wins from 3 in RallyX 2022? Jari Kalliokoski goes through to row 2 and Sondre Evjen to row 3. That is 3 very quick drivers, and we've got 3 more spaces available. It is, in fact, the top 3 that go through from semi-final number 1. Semi-final number 2, Molly has just radioed up and said that she thinks everyone is on used tyres. It is quite hard to judge. She would have got around the cars in the pre-grid, and normally you can tell because the Cooper branding's missing from the side, the shoulder gets rubbed off. It's sometimes hard to tell. You might have a set of tyres which hasn't done much work, and that's much harder to tell compared to, brand new to used is easy, but whether or not they've done 2 laps or 8 laps is a little bit harder to tell. But Molly says nobody's got new boots on. Is anybody saving new boots to try and get Johan in the final, who we think has just used his 4 new tyres in the last one?
there's also the operating win of these tyres. If you go and do 2 laps of practice on them, you're not really taking any life out of them from their optimum.
Yeah.
So you might look like you're on used tyres, but they might have just been scrubbed that little bit in preparation. You wouldn't want to use, and we knew it was going to rain, you wouldn't want to run brand new slicks in the rain. You want them a little bit scrubbed. So yesterday evening, maybe they scrubbed the new set just for a couple of fast laps, just to get them in. So it's frustratingly for us, it's very difficult to tell.
Just give you a heads up, it's 4 new tyres per round, so it was 8 at the first round in Holliers. From round 2 onwards, if you have competed in the series before, you take any 4 used tyres from any previous event this season, and you get 4 new ones if you want to buy them. So someone like Kalliokoski, who's coming at this round, Hal probably had 8 new tyres here, because it's his first round, I believe, but I'd have to double check that.
Yeah, and that does give you, as a new driver, it does give you a good advantage. Yeah.
Interestingly, both Ekstrom and Kristoffersson think the compound is slightly harder than it was before, and if that's the case, there might be a slightly longer operating window. Gronholm, German, Brindersen, Belevsky, Vaby and Bergstrom. I reckon this is the tougher semi-final in terms of outright pace. Who's got it at the start? Great launch, Brindersen row 2 straight underneath Gronholm. He's going to be able to keep German on the outside line here. Contact between them. Oh, Belevsky's off on the outside. Gronholm, the rear of the car, gets cooked up. Brindersen into the lead. OC Vaby moves into P2. Niklas Gronholm's been dropped down into 3rd place.
Vaby absolutely made hay there, didn't he? In the carnage through the first couple of corners. Gronholm lost out badly on the exit of turn 1. Brindersen, though, in the right place at the right time. Not like in Q1 earlier today where the car got pitched up in the air. Now we're going to see what Gronholm's got. This is going to need to be really good Joker strategy from Jussi Pinamäki.
I'm surprised he didn't go. Philip German's gone, and I think that's a good move. The only problem is whether or not he's going to catch up with Gustav or not. Gustav Bergstrom qualified P6. You know, he's still learning a little bit.
I don't think you could Joker on the first lap.
Look at Gronholm all over the back of Vaby, but it's allowing Brindersen to get away, Hal.
Yeah, this moment is damage limitation, isn't it? It's about making sure you can get to the final at all. Ideally now on the 2nd row, all over the back of the WRC2 regular. German in the background has taken the Joker, hasn't he? So he's at risk now.
He's only 1.8 off the back of Gustav Bergstrom.
But they can't risk joking. You can't risk joking at this stage, I don't think, and risk coming out.
Gronholm on the inside line of Vaby finds better traction on the exit. Brilliant pass by the Finn, racing at home, got the grip, launches up the inside. Lovely job.
He is so good for that corner. We saw that in the World Rallycross Championship event here a few years ago, and again this morning he got Belevsky in that same corner. Just gets the nose well in to get the drive out of the corner. Great job from Niklas Gronholm.
Absolutely epic pass, wasn't it? Gronholm now has got to chase down Brindersen, so we didn't think he wants to be on the front row. If Gronholm wants to beat Kristoffersson, he needs a front row start. I wonder if he'll do an alternate strategy to Brindersen. He has to, really. He's got to go Joker. In he goes. So he goes in. Vaby goes standard lap. It can depend whether if Vaby gets in the way of Gronholm on the exit here. Can Gronholm get back out in front of OC Vaby or not? He's got the inside line, but Vaby's going to be right there. Niklas Gronholm does get out in front just 1 lap later. Got to hold on. It's going to compromise his speed on this lap. Brindersen should be able to get out in front. It's 2.7 the gap. It should be enough.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he made that. He did a really good Joker to get back out in front of Vaby. I thought that was a big risk. Well, it was a big risk just to make sure you've got track position, but I think Brindersen's going to be too far up the road in front as long as he does a tidy job now.
Thomas Brindersen, semi-final at round 1. He got P4 at round 2 at Holliers, but this time might be able to, from row 2 of this race into the Joker lap, get onto the front row. Niklas Gronholm going to do everything he can to deny him. Brindersen comes out of the Joker on the inside lap. It's not enough from Gronholm. Thomas Brindersen joins Johan Kristoffersson on the front row. OC Vaby comes through to take P3 behind Niklas Gronholm. And we've got a hell of a final lineup, but Gronholm is not on the front row, and for me, needed to be to take the fight to Kristoffersson. Having said that, look at what happened in turn 1 there. Anything can happen.
Vaby was lucky there as well that German had an issue towards the end. Now watch Gronholm starting from pole. Brindersen has a great launch from row 2, and what happens to Niklas? He just gets run deep, doesn't he? They run
Is
side.
Brindersen in the back of him there, Hal? Because why has he gone straight on unless he's locked up with Bergstrom?
I think he's locked up with German.
Sorry, German.
Yeah, he's brake late. The rear of the car picks up, so that the yaw is, you know, that he was lucky there as well, not to run further wide.
German's, it's not deliberate. German's trying to turn in with Niklas. Niklas is almost trying to run them wide, and where he's pushing into Niklas's rear left, Niklas can't rotate right, can he?
Yeah.
So he ends up going straight on. It was actually a great recovery. That pass on Vaby was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, he is a really, really good rallycross driver now.
If Vaby hadn't jokered on lap 3, Hal, I think Gronholm would have had a bit more track. Look how close he was to Brinterson here. But he'd had the little battle with Vaby, and it meant that he lost time on the exit with this here. So this here, look. He's compromised both on the entry here.
I still don't think it would have been enough.
No, but he would have been closer, wouldn't it?
But Vaby's also lucky that German ran into trouble on the last lap, because otherwise I think he wasn't making it to the final this afternoon.
Good effort, Niklas, but great from Brinterson. All coming from an absolutely mega launch. Got behind Gronholm and held on to that position. Then the problems for Gronholm in turn 1 let Brinterson through. Whole shot straight through to the win. Gronholm tried to close him down, gets P2. OC Vaby goes through in P3. So where the top 3 went through from the first semi-final, we've had one driver from each row through for the rest. Woo-wee. Hot diggity dog. Right. Take a breath, people. 5 races to go. 5 big trophies to give out. Well, medium-sized trophies.
Johan likes them, at least.
He does.
He hasn't won many before. So.
No, something. To be honest with you, it's a good job. He must be running out of space at home for trophies anyway. So I'm sure if there were monsters, he'd need another trophy room, wouldn't he? Go on, Johan. Couple of kids there, look, playing down at the front of the grandstand. I met a couple of Finnish kids earlier on, and their dad, who said they're regular viewers, but it was his daughter's first time at the Rallycross, so she had the ear defenders with her. He said, my son's been 5 or 6 times. I was like, good on you, nicely done. Look at that, they've got the old, what was that, like a jumpsuit, romper suit? I want one of those. Especially when it's a bit too warm now, probably. Hal's changed into the shorts again.
It is warm.
He had a quick outfit change in the middle of the semi-finals, actually, Hal Ridge did.
Wasn't in the middle of a semi-final,
well, it was towards the start. I mean, if they'd been quick on the comms box camera, we could have seen Hal getting changed in the background. But unfortunately, Robert's a bit tired today, so he missed that gem. But there we go. Molly, what a guan. Where are you?
I'm out in the forest here, it feels like, and we're just going to stop Marcus, because that was a fantastic race.
The race was okay, but the start was not. Somebody pushed Niklas, or what happened in the? He was first in the corner, but then he came out as a 3rd or 4th. I don't know. But then he was racing okay.
Yeah, it was side-by-side contact with German, Hal says.
Yes, he was fighting this time. Good. But okay, semi, you need to take the pole. Now he's behind you again, so let's see for the semi. Final.
Hang on, there's a question from Hal. Why is Niklas so good out of the penultimate corner?
Penultimate? I don't know. I have no idea. But okay, not so happy. I think Niklas is not so happy with the 2nd position, because Johan is in front on the start line. So it will be a hell of a fight to win.
It certainly will, but Johan just used 4 new tyres for the semi-final, and I'm sure that Niklas has some new tyre left.
We have 6 new. No, what? I don't know.
It's not possible, is it?
No, it's not possible. I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No.
Okay, but hopefully maybe you.
Yeah, hopefully they are okay to fight. Yeah. Now the final is 5 laps, so there is time, hopefully.
And do you care about the ice hockey result?
Yes, I was looking.
Congratulations.
We are in the final.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
In 2 finals, huh?
Yes, in 2 finals.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
First of all, he has no idea why Niklas is fast out of the last corner, and then Niklas has 6 tyres. He's like, I don't know actually how many tyres he's got. We love you, Marcus, don't we?
Well, absolutely, yeah. It's very difficult to know whether he's how much of it is honest, but of course he knows. He loves to play this game that he's just a spectator in the team. He's so entrenched in that team that, yes, he leaves the big decisions to Jussi Pinnamäki, the team manager, but Marcus is across it as well. He knows exactly how many tyres Niklas has got to play with.
I wonder what he has. But as Marcus pointed out, and as we had pointed out, he is unfortunately on row 2. Oh, there's Vigo picking up bits of his drone. Is that all they found? Is it just the camera? So that's Vigo.
He's always smiling, Vigo, isn't he?
He looks
delighted. He looks like he's had a massive shunt.
I don't know, how many drones does he bring?
Do you think he speaks Finnish?
2 drones, only 2. Maybe 4. Peter has no idea either.
There is lots of fingers in the air.
All that RallyX has is people who have no idea what's going on, including me and Hal quite a lot of the time. Okay, 2 with live link.
He does know.
He's behind the camera if you're wondering. So 2 with live link and 2 without. So hopefully that's not one of the live link ones. The live link one means we can take the pictures during the race. The other ones means we can only take the pictures as replays. They bring a memory card back in.
What I've learned about Viggo, though, is he's also a brilliant drone engineer. So there'll be a late one tonight when he rebuilds whatever's necessary.
He's as busy as most of the paddock was after Q1 this morning, where a lot of people appeared to have taken their brains out and forgotten how much parts cost. I think I went and saw Maria Eriksson. She was like, "This is kitchen." She turned around like, "This is office." There was a laptop on top of like a barrel full of cooking oil or something. She's like, "That is parts truck." And I said, "Has it been busy?" She said, "Yes, it has, very busy." So your Q1 was apparently pretty interesting. We were stood up in the spotters area, so we couldn't see down to turn 1. But yeah, good times in Kouvola. Gronholm's been given a time penalty and loses a position. So Gronholm's been given a penalty.
What for, I wonder?
I wonder what for. What for? What's the time penalty for? We demand to know. Do we know what for? Molly's going to try and find out. I pushed a button there that allows me to talk to people. There's a lot of buttons on this, you know. It's not as easy as you think. So Molly's going to try and find out. Molly, what do you think? What for?
They're looking in the truck, I'm hearing, at the replays.
Right, so...
Lap. Corner before the penultimate corner on lap
we're going to see... Okay, we think we've found it. Here we go. Have a look at this. The replay guys have been checking it out. Have a goosey gander at this. Where is it? Here it is. Watching Gronholm in behind OC Veiby. So Veiby in the Bauhaus colour car. Oh dear, Molly's just told Jussi that he's got a time penalty. Oh, this isn't where he passed him, is it? Or is it? We're saying that... Okay, so this is... so this is the pass, isn't it? So, no, it's not. I'm not sure about that. If he didn't gain an advantage, what's the point if he didn't pass him? He doesn't hit him here. I think that's harsh, personally, but there you go.
I don't...
Well, you say what you like, Krista. Sorry, mate. I know we sometimes.
I don't think that was it. I didn't see anything there.
Right, so you don't think that's the moment? So TV, do we know that is the moment, or is it? Could it be? Did he push him again when he passed him? Can we get that replay from slightly earlier of the pass there? Can we get it on the way into the corner, or were we on a different angle? I know we're talking directly live on air here, but it doesn't matter because it gives you guys a bit of insight into how we do this. So Molly says the team have no idea.
So this is what it would be about, but
this is the same corner as we've just seen, but we think this is later in. This is where the pass is. Yes. Okay. So is this the same one we've just seen?
No, this is the pass. So that's quite a big nudge in the rear, but that's still.
It's well, okay. So the first one for me is definitely not a penalty. That one, if you could argue it's pushing to pass, but I'm not. I want people to race as well. We did have this a bit in several series. There's Niklas last year. Look at Marcus in the background. Oh, that is a great shot, isn't it? Like the two generations. That Marcus in the background, Niklas in the foreground.
Jussi running off here, trying to figure out what's
so
going
Jussi is apparently. Well, you might be able to hear Molly on the camera down there. She's just saying Jussi's trying to figure out what's going on. Marcus is. Potentially, there's an online notice board, so you may well be looking on that to see what the steward's decision is. Either way, it puts Niklas down to the third row. Here we go.
Wait, what is the penalty for?
Niklas was overtaking, like normally, he was not pushing. I don't know.
Because it's clear that you guys don't understand.
We don't understand anything.
And it's 5 seconds, it's a big penalty.
Yeah. I need to wipe my ass again with a steward's paper like I did in rally, so... Best regards.
Quote of the year. Maybe quote. Is that the best Marcus Gronholm quote ever? I need to wipe my ass again on the steward's papers as I did in rally. Kind regards. Was that what he said?
Best regards.
Best regards. Marcus, you're a legend. Amazing. Okay, on to the final of Cross Car Junior. While we just take in what Marcus Gronholm said live on TV. You legend. Oito off the line with Hallen alongside. Moving for the outside of row 2. Who's moved across? It's Lucas Anderson, I think, has slotted into P3.
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah. So Anderson gets into P3. Great start. I know on the outside, going to lose loads of time through there, but it's Uito, Hallinan and Anderson moving across from 4th into 3rd off the start. Great job.
Oh, Hallinan's all over the back of him, coming down the hill. Now the grip's up. It's so much easier to find the braking point rather than earlier on in the day. I quite like to brush the track between each of these finals now just to make it a little bit more challenging and more interesting for us. But great job by that top 3 just to get the braking done and get nice and tidily through the hairpin. There's a big gap building after the top 3 here. They could be very clever with the Joker strategy now.
I was going to say there's 5 laps now, Hal, so this does change a little bit what you can do, but also the fact that you're in the final. We said this a few times with Andreas last time at Holliers, particularly when you've got 3 semis. There can be somebody in the semi who's qualified 1st to 4th, and then there's somebody in the semi who's qualified 14th to 18th, and the speed differential there means it's risky to joker early. When you reach the final, you can joker early if you want. What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It depends who's in the race, what the pace difference is. I think running second, you've got to stay out. 3rd is probably worth a risk.
So Anderson goes from 3rd, and I think that's the right decision. Again, remember the juniors don't have spotters, so they have to make their own decisions.
It's made it work already.
Get information on the merge, yeah. So Anderson's made that work. Hallinan has lost time to Uito out front. Hallinan was right there on the first lap, but Uito is lapping more quickly. Uito's banged in best lap of the race there, Hal, from the looks of things. Screen's gone purple.
Bit of contact in the background. Sorry, Andrew, I was looking at the side-by-side contact through turn 1. I think it was Norstrand who lost out.
They're still going, look in the background, so no block track at least.
Uito doing what he did in the semi-finals, just eking out a margin. Hallinan looked really good on the first lap. But
Hallinan's going to go joker Hallinan. I think that's a good move. He won't know for sure, but it's 2.5 seconds back to Anderson, and I think Anderson's made mistakes, or Hallinan's had a good lap there, because he's going to come out in front. That's a great move by Lauri Hallinan. Really good awareness, and maybe not the perfect lap from Anderson to get the overlap, because I thought Anderson looked quicker. Certainly Anderson, when he's chasing, looks racier.
And now I would joker, as Uito as the leader, I would joker now, because there's never a replacement for track position. If he gets a puncture now and you still need a joker, likely to be game over, but I would joker now just to cover off the place and keep the position.
Yeah, so with a puncture, you can keep the door shut. It's a long way round the outside in any of these corners. From the hairpin onwards, it's a long way round the outside, isn't it? So Hal's dead right from a safety point of view, but Uito stays out.
Yeah, and I think as a driver you have the confidence just to keep going, but ultimately track position is king, isn't it? I'm not saying what he's doing is wrong.
No, of course.
I think that's how I would approach. But you also risk dropping yourself into the traffic. If you're making a bit of a mistake in the joker, then you've got to fight your way back for it.
Without a spotter as well, Hal, it may well be that you have a conversation. I'm not sure how old Uito is, but you have a conversation and go, right, the score is, if you're leading, you do not joker until the last lap. If you don't know what's going on,
fair enough, yeah.
Because it's a good, tactically, it's what Johan would do, and it's kind of the right thing. But I also, if you had a radio, you might go, you got 3.9. If you know it's not close, you'd go.
It's all irrelevant because he's absolutely smashing it and pulling the margin, so it's fine.
0.7 again on that last lap. So Uito going to slot into the joker lap this time round. He was 3rd in the standings, just 2 points back from Lauri Hallinan. But Hallinan has got no answer for him here today. Uito comes through to take a clean sweep in round 3 of RallyX 2022. Uito wins, 2nd time this year. Hallinan, the championship leader, comes through in P2. And it's Lucas Anderson in P3. So the top 3 in the standings finish top 3 here at Kouvola for round 3. A whole round, of course, to go again tomorrow. But for Michael Uito, an absolutely brilliant performance.
Anderson made quite a mistake in the final corner as well. Lucky to not pay a too heavy price for that. Look at Hallinan, looks to the inside of Uito through the first corner. But Hallinan was all over the back of him early on. Bit of fighting forward position. The track's cleaned a little bit wider there. I think after the Supercar semi-finals, which makes it a little easier for these tiny little cross-car machines to find the grip. Anderson was all over the back of Hallinan.
Which is where I thought he was going to get Hallinan when he joked.
So did I.
Hallinan had, on the first lap, Hal, he had a wicked exit from this corner. And I wonder if that's why he was right all over Uito, because you've got such a long run from there down to the braking zone in the downhill hairpin. But from then on, Uito's checked out. And great. Hallinan, he did a good one earlier today as well, didn't he, in Q3 that we saw. But yeah, top 3 in the championship, top 3 in the final again.
And look at in the background, Anderson's going to... Oh, he was lucky there that he didn't get forced that bit extra wide and into the gravel on the outside.
So round 3 goes to Michael Uito and Crosscar Jr. from Lauri Hallinen and Lucas Andersson. They were the top 3 in the standings, separated by just 2 points between them. Uito was down in 3rd. That might well see him take the lead in the championship. Of course, there's points from qualifying as well as from the finals here, but it's a brilliant drive. It's his 2nd win in a row. 6th in the final in Hollius, retired in that one at round 1, takes the win in round 2, and good to go. Taking a win here, 2 in a row.
Michael, congratulations, taking the win here in the Crosscar Junior. How do you feel?
I'm so excited. Car works very good. What a weekend.
What a weekend, exactly. Well done.
Yes.
There you go, and there's your answer. I wasn't sure how old he was, because they can be anything from 11 through to 16. And I would suggest Uito's closer to 11 than 16. I might be wrong, but great stuff. Oh, Marcus is taking the walk to see the stewards. Has he been called in? He wants the paper, then he's off to the bathroom. Or is he appealing? If they appeal, they'll have to put some cash down to appeal. Yet there's an appeal fee if you want to make an appeal. Or has he been called to see the stewards because they were watching the feed? I suspect not. When they watch the feed later, I don't know how amused they'll be, but it's... were you not amused? I was amused. Were you not entertained? Penttinen, Osterberg, Rajala, Ikmarstad, Vanica and Yuga. Long old hold. Osterberg with a great reaction time. The same for Rajala on the background. Penttinen gets good traction off the line. Rajala moves out, tries to move Ikmarstad out wide. Ikmarstad going to try and go around the outside, ends up on the dirt. Rajala almost end over end. Osterberg sideways too. Penttinen holds the lead. Rajala drops down into P7. Yuga gets through too. Out front then it is. Who's coming up over the crest in the lead? There we go. It's Penttinen from Osterberg, and Rajala trying to find a way round. Woo! Turn 1 was exciting.
How did Ikmarstad get away with that and still run 4th on the outside of Rajala, who ran so wide and had that massive moment? But when it's going right for you, it's going right, isn't it? And Penttinen's been driving brilliantly today.
Yeah, great drive so far. Pasi Penttinen was P2 in the standings after qualifying. Of course, Patrick Hallberg went out in the semi-finals. Penttinen won Q3, 15th actually in Q2, so a P3 in Q1 and a P1 in Q3 was enough to give Penttinen 2nd in the standings. Say, with Patrick Hallberg going out, where's Penttinen overall?
So the 2 guys at the back of the field have now jokered, so Ikmarstad has to joker this time around if the guys in front don't. Hoping that the 2 at the back of the field, Yuga and Rajala, hold each other up, because Ikmarstad's losing time here and he really wants to finish on the podium to score big points this weekend. He's not going to joker because the man in front does.
Vanica, I think it is, has gone into the joker. Yep. No, Vanica was running a really big... Yeah, he's running a really big rear wing. I remember seeing that in the semi-finals. So Rajala is so slotting in where? 5th place, Hal. Yuga down in 6th. So there's a pack there between them. That's tidy, isn't it, for Ikmarstad?
Yeah, so I think Ikmarstad needs to stay out now and get the hammer down, because we know he's got good ultimate power.
Oh, he spins! Ikmarstad has spun just as we said that. He looked like he was a bit lit on the way in. He's hooked the barrier on the inside line. Ikmarstad, who was running... He's leading the championship coming here.
I am sorry, Thomas.
He'll be fine. Ikmarstad's gonna leave this round. Even if he finishes P6 here, he's still gonna lead. He had a huge lead over Hallberg, who's not in the final.
Great observation from Osterberg's spotter now. They've seen the carnage behind. Get Jimmy in and out of the joker. That not only protects his position, but now he's going to get some really clear air if he's got any chance of closing down Penttinen.
Pasi Penttinen leads, a lap and a half to go. This is where the problem was. Did they get on the radio and say to him? No, I doubt it, because they wouldn't have been able to see actually where Ikmarstad's problem was, because the spotters we think are on. Maybe they'd be watching. But
you know that whose spotters now? Your Osterberg's?
No, Penttinen's. He looked like he was backed off to be
right,
to
give
him a shout and go, there's been a problem, just you wind it in a bit. He's got a good gap, it's 3.3.
I think he'll joker now. Yeah. He's going to try and cover of Osterberg.
So this is what Hal was saying about earlier. It looks like he missed a gear, Hal, on the way in. Did you hear the revs go up high? So I wonder if he was getting a neutral in the box, but he gets out nicely in front. It might just have been the picture of the revs rising as he got the car sideways in. So the fight now for 3rd is between Vanica, Rajala and Yuga. And those guys are absolutely nose to tail in the background. Watch this in the background. This is for 3rd place, the last place on the podium. This is what we want to watch. Oh, come on, Yuga having a look on the inside of Rajala, but can't quite get there. Vanica trying to hold the inside line. Lovely exit through there. Rajala might have another opportunity as they come down to the bottom of the hill. There are your leaders.
Ryler's all over the back now. I don't think there's going to be... You've just got to get it stopped on the apex here to protect the inside, and that's going to be enough because there isn't another opportunity now without a mistake, I don't think.
Pasi Penttinen into the final couple of corners with Osterberg behind. We're going to focus on the battle for third. Penttinen coming through. Osterberg going to be P1, P2. What's going on in the background? What's going on in the background? There we are. Running out wide. It's going to be Vanica going to hold on. Ryler's right there after the Larry turn one. Ryler nearly gets a podium. So nearly gets a podium.
I thought Vanica could run too wide then, but what about the winner? Penttinen did a brilliant job today.
He's in the GRZ squad, I think it's called. It's him and Riku Hukar are running that together. Not as good a start as Osterberg, but had the inside line. Watch here now, Ryler is in third. Does he get a touch from Merstad? Not really. And look at Osterberg and Ryler. Osterberg on the nose and Ryler too through turn one. Here it is from the other angle. So Ryler's in the luminous yellow buggy on the inside. It was him we were focusing on actually, but Osterberg had just as wild a ride on the lock stops. Boom. Get some. Launched up into the air. Wow.
I bet that doesn't feel as violent in the cross car. You often have a moment in a car and you don't realise quite how dramatic it looks from the outside. Sometimes you do, of course, but you'll be so focused on trying to get the thing stopped for the next corner. This was a great battle. If you're enjoying this, make sure you like and subscribe to RallyX on all our various social medias. Eek Merstad, well, I'm sure he's liked and subscribed already, but he won't be enjoying it like we're enjoying the action. But but still good points. Important that he got to the final to get those points.
Exactly. You know, okay, in the end, what did he end up with? He ended up with 1, didn't he? And he would have preferred 8. But there you go.
Because Hallberg didn't make the final, did he?
No,
and that's critical.
And Hallberg, mind you, Hallberg was... Eek Merstad was 15 points in front of Hallberg. So there we go. Molly.
Here we have him, the winner of crosscar, a huge smile on his face and also breathing a big sigh of relief.
Yes, it's amazing day. I'm a lucky guy.
Tell us why you're a lucky guy.
I mistake heat 2 and heat 3 is good and semi-final final it's
winning feeling is good, yeah?
Yes, it's fantastic. Yes, thank you.
Great, love it. I think he meant lucky guy. Personally, I think he was appreciating having a great time. You know, I don't think he meant luck in the race. I might be wrong, but I think he just meant I'm a lucky guy. I'm having a great time. It was a great time. 3:37.116 is enough for Pasi Penttinen to win from Jini Osterberg and Marco Vainика. Vainika was not there in Hollies, so great performance to get a podium at home. Ryler 4th after a wild ride through the gravel trap. Yuga 5th, and Eek Merstad, who was second in the, leading the standings, will continue. There we go, okay. So the gap comes down. It was 15 points, but Hallberg was in second, so it's actually Pasi Penttinen who was in third place, has closed down the gap. So Thomas Eek Merstad on 72, Pasi Penttinen on 63, and then Patrick Hallberg on 57. So just between the top 3, 15 points. It was 15 between the top 2 before. Marco Vainика looks straight into 16th place with a great result here. Take a look at the standings for junior cross car. Michael Uitu takes the lead, 78 points from Lauri Hallinen on 76. So it was a 2-point lead for Hallinen over Uitu in third place. And now Uitu has flipped that round the other way and is 2 points up. Lucas Anderson, look, is only 9 points off the lead. Anderson was in P2, just 2 points off. So Anderson lost out by about 7 points compared to the 2 in front of him. But I reckon a great battle on there. Tomorrow, of course, is the halfway point. This is a 7-round series. We're on round 4 tomorrow. And I think when we leave here, we'll have a great indication of where we're at in terms of championships. Hal, that was good, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, yeah.
That was good.
The finals always deliver, don't they? Even if it's a boring final, there's just something about a final in a rallycross event that there's a little bit more at stake.
It's an accumulation of your whole day's efforts, isn't it? Or in some events, the whole weekend's efforts. Just, a lot rides on it. So a lot rides on this then for Olli Lahti on the front row. TQ, Thomas Venäläinen, who qualified in 4th, will be hoping to capitalise on a great start here. Can he get one? Venäläinen off the line, straight in. He did that Simon Tiger before and they got in trouble for it. Oh, up in the first corner, contact. The Mercedes ends off to the side. Absolute carnage. Ryler gets collected. Venäläinen goes through. The Mercedes goes through. Ryler parked on the outside of the track. I think it's Niemi parked on the inside. Is it? Niemi spins the car back round. Ryler gets going.
Niemi's got going.
In turn one. So where's carnage, Hal? Absolute carnage.
I can't believe there's 3 cars in the shot for the lead, given what happened in turn 1. I think,
and there is your TQ, man. How livid is he? Pretty chilled.
Really chilled about that. I think, obviously we need to see the replay as Johansson takes to the Joker for the first time of asking, clever move that, just get it out of the way, still hold position, so barring any disaster, that's secured a runner-up slot.
Yeah.
There's still 5 cars going unbelievably after that first corner.
Right, look at the front end. The front end is completely up in the air. You've got a car parked on the outside, fair bit of stuff lining the track.
I do think Venäläinen might have been the catalyst to all of that by getting stuck in the first corner before turn 1.
Do you remember what happened with him and Simon Tiger? They did exactly that. They got into each other 2 or 3 times down the start-finish straight. You can move across, but you just, you don't move until you get contact. You squeeze, don't you? So, I don't know. The stewards will make a decision on it, but at the minute Venäläinen leads. He responds now to the Joker from Johansson.
It's going to be enough.
Tuomas Venäläinen going to come out in the lead here. Picks up the front right wheel. We appreciate the Smurf machine, even if the occupants of the Turn 1 gravel track might not. But we'll see. I'm sorry for Olli Lahti, because as TQ guy, yeah, that's not what he wanted. But we need to see the replays before we make any kind of judgment on that. And of course, it's not really our place to, but we'll have a crack at it.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I also hope that his damage isn't so bad that he can't get back for tomorrow. All of these teams are very good in the paddock as Venäläinen's machine fires flames out of the rear into the hairpin, but it would be such a shame if Lahti can't be back tomorrow, so I hope it's a relatively easy fix for the guys tonight.
You know when Venäläinen's off the throttle because it just breathes flames, basically, so every time he lifts off the throttle, flames pour from the exhaust, and it's just good, really.
Maybe tomorrow we could put some food at the rear of his car during Q2.
We've got to swing a burger off a tie wrap.
And then it'd be ready for us to come off air at the end of the session.
Like, so just we're going to hang a sausage.
There's liquid pouring out of the back of his car through the first corner. And yeah, I wonder, it could just be unburnt fuel, couldn't it, before he's ignited it, but it looked like... I think the radiator would almost certainly be in the rear of that car, the water cooling.
When he's on the throttle, though, you see a lot of vapour from the exhaust. Do you see? I don't know if
it was on the other side.
Is it just the exhaust, was it?
Maybe so. Well, the exhaust on that side.
Yeah, the exhaust is on the left, yeah. Right, let's watch Venäläinen through turn 1 as he gives it a little flick. Yeah, Johansson is looking dangerous here. I wonder if you're right, Hal. Johansson trying to go around the outside of Venäläinen. We know that car's got a little bit of a hybrid kick in the electric. Nerfs off a bit of the trash that's left in turn 1 from all the contact Venäläinen.
Johansson's getting a bit wild.
He is getting wild. Oh, it's getting wild at the back as well. That's Ryler and Niemi. Ryler, mate, I'm not sure if that was a pass or not. We've been so focused out the front. Either way, it is for the last spot on the podium. Gabrielsen is a long way back.
Where's Johansson gone? Oh, there.
Johansson's on a go slow. So is he gonna manage to? What happened? Did he spin? Where's Ryler? How far back is Ryler? And how slow is Johansson? Johansson's going really slowly. Can Ryler nick turn to P2 before the finish line? Venäläinen going to take the win, but watch now in the background for Ryler and Niemi. Could they both get a podium spot here? Overcomes. Venäläinen has made it. Whereabouts is Johansson? We need to see Johansson. There he is. Ryler's right up behind. Get a look to the inside line. Ryler gets P2. Niemi gets P3. Johansson drops down into P4 and the last lap gutted. And Ryler comes back from carnage in turn 1 to get P2. Venäläinen, Hal was dead right. There's something pouring out the back of that car. Let's hope it's not fuel. But wow.
That was bonkers.
It was, wasn't it?
So 2 of the cars on the podium were facing the wrong way in turn 1.
Yeah. Tuomas Venäläinen is...
pouring fluid all over the racetrack.
Yeah, he is. I wonder if he spots us on the radio saying,
we've been hoping for race
tomorrow. Look at the toe-in on that. Look at the toe-in on it. Yeah, there's a lot of toe-in on that. Right, here we go. So, Tuomas moves across. Yeah. Well, no, but did the poleman move out, Hal? I'd need a different angle. Did you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they met each other. Look at Johansson. Gets absolutely launched in the Mercedes. And then, did he hit Lahti on the way back too? Here it is for another angle. Watch this. So Lahti's sideways, but then the car hooks up, and poor old Johansson gets launched. Actually, you know what? Lahti just got really sideways in turn 1, and then Ryala gets turned around. So does Niemi.
So I'm going to retract what I said in the race, because I don't think that was actually Venäläinen's fault in the first corner. I'd really like to see that again if we've got time before the end. But it was Gabrielsson in the Starlet that made a brilliant start from row 2, I think, who then had contact with the rear of Venäläinen and moved Venäläinen over. But it was almost a different scenario with Lahti and Johansson in the first corner that caused a different moment.
Just quickly, Hal, I know I say it often, but good spot, Hal Ridge. Like, seeing that fluid come out, mate, we've said it before. Eyes him a bat, unless he's wearing his glasses. Ryala comes through to take P3 from Niemi. When did we didn't even see? Do we see a spin here? Does he tap the barrier on the inside? Because that's where it went wrong, isn't it? Venäläinen's come round. Yeah, he's getting some applause. Go on, Thomas. Right on, mate. Big wave to the crowd. P1. Oh dear, look at that. That's a lot of work needed to do on the Starlet, isn't it?
I'm sure nothing they haven't done before.
Yeah, the problem with the start is unless you can see it from above and figure out what happened off the line, directly off the line.
I thought I'd like just to see it again from that front camera, because I think I do think it was actually 2 separate incidents.
Can we see it again in the truck? Can we just see the start from the front, the frontest, the most front angle you've got? Whatever, maybe we'll see in a second. Venäläinen from Ryala and Niemi, who were both facing the wrong direction in turn 1. Johansson holds on to 4th, would have been second. It was close to Venäläinen until they had some sort of an issue on the final lap. Gabrielsson. And then, oh, here we go, look, bringing over the flag. Yes, go on. Wicked. Look, down there. Does Thomas realise, oh, someone can't, no. They've sent the kids back. I mean, I do get it. They shouldn't climb over the wall, really. Molly, who are the kids?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who are the kids, Thomas?
My kids.
Yeah, there we go.
No, always they are with us.
Oh, but congratulations on a brilliant win. Tell us about the race.
Thank you. I drove 12 years and now first win for the big game.
Wow.
I don't know.
And does it feel like you thought it would feel?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just happy.
Quite emotional.
Yes. I work very hard this thing.
Okay, we'll let you go to your kids now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 11 on the car, but 12 years for Thomas Venäläinen, and he says that's his first ever big victory. We love the Smurf livery. We love the flames on the side of the car. He's always got his kids with him. Congratulations.
He was pretty emotional then, wasn't he?
Yeah, I love that, though. Makes me emotional. I love it.
Brilliant. And just a great insight into the amount of work everybody that goes competing does to get in to do this sport.
Yeah, I worked really hard was the key moment there, wasn't it, for me? Yeah, brilliant. Love it. My favourite thing about it. Things like that. Amazing. Okay. Championship standings. Jonas Dowsett, the Jakobsen, continues to lead despite not being here this weekend. Victor Johansson moves up. Let me see, where's my open two-wheel drive standings from last time? Victor Johansson moves up. He's only just 1 point behind. 2 seconds. Joni-Pekka Ryala is into 3rd. So, yeah, Victor Johansson was in 4th coming here. And he's going away effectively kind of leading the championship. I wonder if Jakobsen will look at the points and go, you know what, I should go to Riga and Sweden and see if I can finish the job. Simon Engsvig is up there, and despite not being here this weekend. So it's Victor Johansson, Ryala and Mika Nilsson. Simon Tiger is there in 5th.
Missed opportunity for Tiger, isn't it?
Yeah, but still there. But yeah, you kind of, we'll have to see. It depends who comes to Riga.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Of course, yeah. God, blimey. Knackered already. We've only done what, eh? You're killing us with all the action. Olofsson on the pole for round 3 of RallyX Supercar Lights. He's had a brilliant day so far. TQ.
No favouritism,
semi.
But I hope he finishes it, because
I
think a win would do him so much good.
It would do him a lot of good, definitely. Alongside him, Ole Henry Steinsholt. Then it's Enlund, Kallio, Jonsson and Mattis Janssen. Row 2 is danger. Enlund and Kallio. Olofsson with a good start. moves across, squeezing Ole Henry Steinsholt out, giving himself a bit of room up to turn one. Kallio puts a door close on Enland. Enland drops to P5.
Great.
Ola Steinsholt into P2, and but your leader is Olofsson. Tidy start, a lot of respect.
Sorry, Andrew, great start from Kallio to shut the door, and then great awareness, and that's just his massive experience in rallycross now to defend the position from the first corner. But as we would expect, Olofsson up front and Steinsholt continuing to do a brilliant job.
So Steinsholt right in there. Olofsson and Steinsholt looking for great results here if they can get them. Kallio, remember, is kind of on a guest appearance here, coming up for celebrating 10 years of the Lights car, and Andreas Eriksson keen to put people who performed well in that car, isn't he, over the years in it. So God knows why he put me in it after Hollies for a few laps. We'll show you that tomorrow. But yeah, Olofsson leads. Olofsson's got to keep this together, how? And Ole Henry Steinsholt as well. Just be a great result for both of them. Steinsholt with a best of fourth in Hollies.
Enland's checked himself into the fight for the podium here by taking that early Joker lap. Already closing on the back of Jonsson now. Under pressure from Janssen as well, but someone's going to have to respond here. I would probably respond if I was Steinsholt at the moment, because the top four are running quite close together. Kallio's in danger here.
So Kallio could be overlapped by Enland, but chose not to go in on that last lap. Olofsson has a 0.8 second lead out front. Steinsholt, Kallio, and Jonsson having not jokers. Oh, Enland makes a mistake, so Enland's run really wide. That's gonna lose him loads of time. But again, it's out of sight of the spotters, and this is where actually how they could do with watching the feed. Even if it's a few seconds back, you might just get enough time to say, don't respond to him, don't respond. You know, this has happened in the background. Steinsholt doesn't go, Kallio does, so Kallio's gone in, and that could be go because he's made a mistake. Yes, Kallio into the Joker lap now, going to try and come back out in front of Jonsson, and does. Great tactics, brilliant move.
Yeah, Fraser McConnell on the radio for Jesse Kallio, learning as he goes up from a different aspect of the sport, and a great call there by Fraz to get Kallio in and out.
So Fraz, could be a good learning process for him as well to understand the huge amount of pressure. I know he's done that kind of thing before. He spent a lot of time with OMSE, but for him to understand that pressure of the spotters and things and making the decision for himself. Olofsson continues to lead from Steinsholt. Steinsholt must go this lap if Olofsson doesn't. He's got a little margin of 2.6, and this time he does. So Ole Henry Steinsholt going in, going to try and protect his position from Jesse Kallio behind. Into the Joker lap now. Watch for Kallio on the exit on the standard lap, and Ole Henry has done enough. Good job by him. This is a super tidy final, nowhere near the carnage we've seen in the previous ones, but Ole Henry Steinsholt looking for a first podium in Lights.
What a drive, great job, and such a big learning curve to be fighting against such experienced drivers. Runs a little bit wide in turn 4. Kallio's going to close on the back, going up the hill. What's going on in the background? Kallio will be pleased to be in a podium place, but this is a rookie in terms of full-time competition, and he's really schooling the former race winner.
Olofsson out front goes into the Joker lap now. Keep one eye on the battle for P2 in the background as well. Olofsson's tidy in the left-hander and in the right as well. Comes through the last corner. He's been unchallenged most of today. It's an absolutely brilliant drive by the top qualifier. Goes through to take the win. Olofsson wins round 3 of Lights. Ole Henry Steinsholt with the first podium, and Jesse Kallio on his return to the series gets P3. Fantastic driving from all three in a very tidy final. All looking to move on to Supercar, and then you can just see the skill set that's needed to perform at the highest level developing in these guys.
This is what I was talking about from Kallio. Look, immediately looks to the inside. Your spotter can't really help you from the hill, but just shuts the door and off on Enland. There's nothing untoward about that, but just forcing the issue on the way in to make sure you take track position. Enland, I thought, was going to be in the fight for the podium, but he makes a bit of a mistake. I think we're about to see it at the top of the hill. Yep, just gets a bit loose right in the gravel on the outside. The car over-rotates, and then he was under big pressure from Janssen. Lucky not to get overtaken there going up the hill, but Simon Olofsson so often runs into poor fortune at this point of the weekends, and he just did a brilliant job out front.
He took a win last year at round 1 in Neeson, as we said, and the rest of the season was just up and down. He was kind of there or thereabouts, but didn't get it back. He was P2 at Hollies in round 1. He was 5th at Hollies in round 2. Takes his first win, his second podium of the season here. But crucially, it's going to see him, I think, lead the championship standings as we go into the midway point tomorrow at Kouvola. And if that's the case, will it be enough to give him the confidence to go on and do the job and win the series this year?
and he's out of the car and he's shaking with adrenaline. He's so happy. Congratulations, Simon.
Thank you very much.
It's been such a clean day for you. So good.
When we started the day with fast lap times, we have the fast lap times, and we improved every day. Every time we went out to track, we felt it was an easy and good day.
And how much does this mean to you?
Of course, very much for tomorrow and next race and all the season. And good feeling.
What did your sister Sandra say on the radio?
Keep pushing, because the guys were gaining up a little bit, but we had good lap time, so we didn't need to push that hard. So it was just a perfect race for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great drive from Olofsson, really good drive. There's the team in the background giving him a huge cheer. Fantastic, kept pushing. Yeah, maybe that's the key, just to keep that focus and keep pushing, but it's a good step for Olofsson. Simon Olofsson wins round 3, 3:37.923 from Ole Henry Steinsholt. Brilliant performance. Steinsholt really starting to come alive now. Was in a good position coming here. Jesse Kalli on a return to the series. Martin Enlund is in fourth. It will be tight for the championship standings then between Olofsson and Enlund, although Olofsson did out-qualify Enlund by a few places as well. So we'll find out whereabouts they are. And Simon Olofsson and Martin Enlund, I said it would be tight. They're equal on points at the moment. Olofsson and Enlund on 65 each, with Ole Henry Steinsholt on 60. Three-way title fight, and I think those drivers will all intend to do the whole series. Kevin Eriksson, of course, not continuing after Hollius. Martin Jonsson, Kasper Jansson, and then Oliver Eriksson and Jimmy Walfridsson down to P8. But that, for me, is looking very much like a three-way fight. You can't count Martin Jonsson out either. He's not far enough back. One race to go. Supercar, round 3. This man has won both so far. What hasn't he won? But he's won both rounds so far. He is the reigning RallyX champion. He's the reigning world rallycross champion. Thomas Brindersen alongside him, who is an absolutely brilliant performer as well. Brindersen with a P4 in Hollius would like to get a podium here. Kaliakowski, danger off the start. He's so fast, and he will look to get onto the bumper of Kristoffersson and prevent Brindersen from coming in. Vaby's been aggressive in the starts. He'll need something special from there, and Gronholm will need something very special from here. He's P6 on the grid. We're not sure what the tyre situation is. And finally, Sondre Evjen.
We do know what the tyre situation is. I was talking to Molly on the tour back through the Supercar Live final. Gronholm is the only driver in this race, I believe, on 4 new tyres. I'm not totally sure what Brindersen's on. Couldn't quite hear Molly. But Kristoffersson's on used tyres. The 2 Audis have got new fronts, but Gronholm is on 4 new tyres.
I think Kristoffersson needs another new door, doesn't he? Looking at that, I might be wrong. Either way, bit of work for everybody to do overnight, but one job left to do today, and that is to try to take the win in round 3. Heads up, here we go, ready to race. Oh, Kaliakowski looked lucky, but Kristoffersson did too. Not a great start. Brindersen going to try and shut the door. Vaby tried to go around the outside, going to slide to P3. Kaliakowski up on 2 wheels. Gronholm almost spins in the background. Drops to P6. It's Brindersen, Kristoffersson, OC, Vaby, Kaliakowski into the rear of Vaby. Runs him up the barrier on the inside line. Who's gone round? Kaliakowski's parked, and so's Vaby in the background.
Both Audis.
Carnage behind them. And that's Brindersen then leading from Kristoffersson and Marcus. Niklas Gronholm is up into P3.
And this really changes the race, doesn't it? But now Kristoffersson doesn't have to worry about the traffic. Looks to the inside of Brindersen towards the end of the lap. Kristoffersson's going to joke it immediately. This is exactly what Brindersen didn't need. He needed the other guys in this race to hold Kristoffersson back after the joker.
Kristoffersson's joke and come out in front of Gronholm already. So are there any cars parked up in turn 1 or turn 2? And are the drivers going to see them in time? So Brindersen will be showed a yellow if there's anything still parked there. I want to see what's in the corner. Everyone's got to wait. So everyone's got to wait. Gronholm now in the dust, and this is about Kristoffersson versus Brindersen. Brindersen has to respond on this lap, Hal, but it's probably too late already.
This is played into Kristoffersson's hands so much. I'm almost a bit disappointed, not because I don't want Kristoffersson to win, but I would have liked to have seen him have to fight for it that little bit more. Brindersen's going to respond now, but it's going to be so tight on the merge.
Here we go. Brindersen going to get on the handbrake, flick it back round the other way. He's run a little bit too deep in there, and he comes almost alongside Johan. It was nearly enough, but Kristoffersson takes the lead. Brindersen slots into P2. Gronholm hasn't joken in his third, but Kaliakowski, I think he's a long way back, so Gronholm's probably in a safe P3. Oh, Brindersen, he nearly did it, Hal. He was a little bit scruffy in this next hairpin on the first lap. Look at the damaged parts of cars. Oh, Oh, so
you just
close.
can't afford to give Kristoffersson the lap, so he had no option but to joker, because Kristoffersson would have eaten into that margin, but at the same time he needed a little bit longer to try and tidy up now.
Yeah, if Johan had had just anyone battling with him, Gronholm goes joker lap now. If Johan had had anyone to fight with, or just a little bit more of a problem in the first corner,
it just makes more of it it makes the strategy more complicated.
I almost wonder if Brinderson should have jokered first, like if he just should have gone for it. But you know, you
still
put
gives
Johan out
Kristoffersson
in
clear
front,
air,
and then
don't
you give it 4 laps, don't you? But you might as well give up at that point as well. Oh dear, I'm not even sure the door is damaged. Maybe it's just a mirage on the front row. Lap 4 out of 5, and these three are pretty much unchallenged. Kalliokoski is 11.7 seconds down. Have you any idea what happened in turn 1?
Nightmare for the JC guys. I know that much. Both Audis. We saw an Audi almost roll, didn't we? Right up. It looked like it was on top of the barrier, or at least underneath a car. Kalliokoski was in the middle of that as well.
Kristoffersson's run wide. The rear tyre's been smoking. Has he got a puncture? Johan Kristoffersson's going slightly slowly. I did wonder whether or not he would hold on. The car may be crabbing a little down the straight now. Has he got a deflation on his hands? There was a lot of smoke coming from the rear of the car. So Johan Kristoffersson either with a problem or a mistake, and Brinderson is all over the back of him now. Half a lap to go as they come up over the crest. Watch for where they appear. He's got to keep that door closed. Brinderson and Gronholm are right there, and they're desperate to pounce. He gives him a little nudge through the long right-hander. Johan Kristoffersson going to come through the left now. Is he going to keep the door shut? He takes the inside line. He won't run it out too wide. The smoke pours from the rear right. It was this corner. Here's the problem. Go straight again. Johan Kristoffersson struggling. Brinderson looking to try and get the inside line. Oh, Brinderson can't quite get there. Kristoffersson shuts the door. Final corner to go. Up the inside. Brinderson takes it from Gronholm. Kristoffersson P3. Unbelievable. Wow, what a final lap.
What a great job Kristoffersson did at trying to hold that position, but what great composure from Thomas Brinderson to come back out of the throttle, go in and place the car so well that it was shutting the door for Brinderson. But Brinderson had the awareness, the Kristoffersson type awareness to come back out of the throttle and tuck back up the inside into the final corner, and Nicholas Gronholm nearly got there too.
What? See Johan bog off the line. He just had a little bog, didn't he, as he came up there. So turn 1, look in the background. So Gronholm,
so look at Kalliokoski first. There's the car running in 4th at the moment, the green rear of the car.
He got hooked on the curb on the inside, Hal. That was when he
so
went
this is Baby on the third car.
So Baby now goes to the inside look, and he gets pushed from the back.
He hits the rear of Kristoffersson. The Kristoffersson right rear damage that he carried later in the race is from contact from his friend Baby.
Yeah, but what did he do it because he'd been hit by? Because wow, look at that!
That is not
blue
a great.
On blue, literally. That is like.
That's also not a great place to have an impact. This is Kristoffersson late in the race. The smoke is already pouring off the back of the car. What we don't know. I would like to see it again. It wasn't that close at the merge, but it was close enough. I would like to see whether Baby just got over-rotated and then clipped the rear of Kristoffersson.
So what happened?
I don't think he had
There's nothing. But why terminal understeer, Hal? That's not. And again, onto the start-finish straight, he can't get the car turned in. I wondered if it was the rear from where the smoke was, but not. Then here, look. And he desperately tries to shut the door, but look at Brinderson. He just waits. There's a tiny nudge into the last corner, but what, you think it's a big nudge?
I don't know if Nicholas got a penalty for the contact with Baby last time around, but, you know, when someone's already... Yeah.
Oh, is it... I know he's off, but he's off the bumper there. It was early.
On the other side.
Contact was early. What, you think he's pushed him again? Oh no, I don't want a steward's inquiry,
no,
but if one's necessary, then fine. But there we go. At the minute, Brinderson, it's a brilliant drive either way. You know, whatever happens afterwards. Maybe Molly can ask him after we found out about a brilliant win. You know, what was going on with Johan. What could he see?
Brinderson, congratulations. What an incredible race. Your car looks like it's been through hell, but it's a win here in Kouvola.
It looks like a folk race car, but yeah, we haven't found the speed the whole weekend, but to the semi-final we changed almost everything, so it worked well.
Tell us about this battle with Johan.
Yeah, for sure he was a bit faster, so I was trying to secure the second place, but then he got some problems, so yeah. Took the opportunity, and yeah, it was really nice.
How good does it feel to win again?
Really good. Really good. Thank you.
So Brinson all smiles, and so he should be. As far as he's concerned, he's got the job done, and we're just taking a look at things from the outside. It's whether or not what we think from the replays at the end there. But you know what? Either way, what an absolute banger of a final!
I'm delighted for Brinson as well, because family team, former champion who's done his own thing, did drive with JC, done his own thing, and fighting his way back through. Great result.
Epic. It was, and like it's like we're thinking okay, stewards are getting involved, so we'll have to wait and see here. So it might be a Niklas Gronholm home win, because although he was P3, so Niklas is here now with Molly. Let's hear what does he know?
Well, Niklas, the commentators are just talking about the stewards getting involved now, about the incident between Thomas and Johan. So what do you know at this point?
I don't know anything. I just know what I saw and what should be done, but...
Okay, what did you see and what should be done?
Well, I think it's quite clear case. Even if Johan has a tire broken, he shouldn't drive like that. And I got a penalty for less than that. So I think it's quite clear. But either way, it's a disappointing end to the day. We had the speed, we had a good tire strategy. Just overall disappointed that the result is not what I feel that we deserved. I think we did a lot of things right, and it just seems that 2022 is not getting started properly at any time. It's just it's always something, and it's disappointing.
Well, I can tell you something, that you do deserve it, because I've just heard on my ear now that you are confirmed the winner of this round here in Kouvola today. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Even though, like I said, it's I don't want to win like this. I want to finish, be the first on the finish line, and it's. I've been here before, and it doesn't feel good. It's not the same.
Well, new day tomorrow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good night's sleep, shower, good night's sleep, and we go again.
And some ice hockey.
Not anymore. We won already, so at least that's good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Niklas Gronholm, then the winner of round 3 after an epic end to the final. Doesn't take away that it was an epic end. Regardless of the stewards think I think as you said, Hal, if Niklas is penalised for something which we thought was really mild earlier, didn't we? I'd say Thomas is a lot more aggressive than Niklas's was. So Johan shuts the door. Look, Thomas comes in, so he hits him from the inside, but it's this outside hit there. Yeah, and Johan can't turn in at all.
We got very excited at the end of the race, didn't we? And I was hadn't really seen, or maybe we were looking at it from the front, weren't we? So hadn't really seen the extent of that contact.
You can never call a moment like that, from all angles. Can you just got to go with what you see?
I still don't think Kristoffersen's got a puncture. So I wonder if it looked to me like something maybe in the steering rack. Maybe he lost power steering because it just wasn't. It was like he wasn't turning in like he wanted to.
I wasn't sure if it was in every corner or just right-handers, which normally suggests puncture, unless it was drive shaft or something. I mean, we'll go see Johan and find out.
But look how hard Veiby hit him.
So this is, the rear end of that car's super folded up. Here's Johan turning in. Look. He's got a little bit of opposite lock on, and the car then, so it's like he's backed it in, and mid-corner, Hal, something's happened. You see what I mean? There was rotation on the car on the way in.
I think it may be something in the rack when you can't, you just have to wait then and bail almost because you can't do anything about it.
So here, look, again, you can see there's not enough rotation. I don't know, there's a bit of rotation on the exit, but not as much as maybe normal. Oi, oi, oi. Niklas not over the moon about the win, but that's understandable because, as he said, I don't want to win it that way. And what Niklas wants is to start winning. He wants to start winning. He's annoyed about the penalty earlier. He'll be annoyed that it's not performing the way he wants. We had a good strategy. They had new boots in the final. He wanted to be on the front row with new tyres and beat Johan face to face. They're going to do battle in the World Championship this year. You want those moments, don't you? And unfortunately, they're not there at the minute. So Niklas, I understand, he's a bit hacked off. But as you said, new day tomorrow, he's got to get it done, hasn't he? He's just got to turn it round. And you might as well get your rotten luck out the way now.
Yeah, I mean, he's had this at the in the World Championship, hasn't he? Lost his first win on a steward's decision, then did get his first win in Norway, didn't he, on a steward's decision? So he knows, like he says, he's had this before. He knows exactly how it feels, and everyone wants that jubilation of crossing the finish line, don't they? That's what everyone here aspires to do, is to feel that release of relief, emotion, joy, whatever they do when they cross the finish line. And you know, not having the final, the weekend he wanted, being frustrated with that other penalty he had, but it's still, a win is a win, and I think, you know, in hindsight he'll be pleased.
And that's what he's got. Niklas Gronholm wins round 3 of RallyX 2022. Kristoffersen is promoted to P2 after Brindersen is given a penalty for contact with him in the final corner. Johan will be annoyed because without the contact he would have held on for the win. So Johan will be slightly aggrieved as well. But there we go. Molly's with him now. I wonder what his thoughts are and what was wrong with the car.
Well, the drama is real, but you're promoted to P2 after that contact. But tell us what everything was like from your point of view.
Well, I don't care, P2, P3, but yeah, I bogged a bit in the start, so didn't have the best launches, but being quick on the track, so 1 lap has been enough today to overtake through the Joker. So likely today it did, so very happy with that. The pace is good, but then unfortunately 2 laps to go, I started to feel there was some problem with the steering, and then with 1.5 lap to go, I lost completely the power steering. So yeah, then it was difficult.
So it was mechanical with the car, not contact?
Yeah, no. I was driving 1.5 lap completely without power steering. Yeah, that was slower than I should have been otherwise. But yeah, anyway, 1 corner from the finish. But you know, sometimes like that. In Höljes, I overtook Martin in the last corner. So yeah, sometimes you have the luck on your side, and sometimes not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You win some, you lose some. This one he lost, the one in Höljes he won, but he's annoyed because he said, I don't care about 2nd or 3rd, and that's a little glimpse into the mindset of Johan Kristoffersen, you know, arguably the GOAT, well, the stats, what the stats say, certainly. And as he said today, 1 lap was enough for me to get the pass. So 84 points. Johan Kristoffersen leads the supercar standings ahead of Niklas Gronholm, 13 points clear. Sondre Evjen, look, a 30-point gap back to Kristoffersen. That's a full whole day's TQ and win. Brindersen is 4th, Ole Christian Veiby 5th, Ekstrom 6th. There's Belevsky, Markland, German, and Enzo Eid. So that battle between Evjen, Veiby and Ko and Brindersen will, I think it's getting Evjen and Brindersen, it looks like, doesn't it, really? Will be the one. Great stuff. Great stuff. Drama. Right. Well, there we go. That's the voice wrecked after just 1 day. I don't know that I was particularly anticipating the end of that one being quite so wild as it was, but we weren't in Höljes either, and that was mental as well.
It's a Rallycross supercar final, isn't it? And anything can happen right until the bitter end.
Molly's just giving me stick on the talkback, basically saying what you're talking about having a wrecked voice. So maybe I'm going to swap with Molly tomorrow, and let's see how long her voice lasts up here, shall we? Come on, Moll. You know you want to. I know she'd never go. Here we go, champagne time. Trophies as well. Here she comes. Molly's here now, actually. So Molly's coming in. In fact, she's joined us in the studio here right now. Grab a mic under there, Moll. There you go. We've got a mic for you. Which one do you want? Yellow or black? There we go. Marvellous. Well done, mate. You survived. So Molly's been losing her voice. She's been working really hard all round different championships, being a superstar, and you've been losing your voice, haven't you? I nearly lost my voice in there. Well, how great was the end of the final? I know, stewards and a bit naughty, but Rallycross never disappoints, does it really?
It's been a bit dramatic, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Very up and down, and angry dads and angry drivers, and some drama. But it's Rallycross, and it's like Johan said, you know, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some.
Yeah.
But last corner, that's got to be a bit frustrating.
It's gutting, isn't it, for him? Hal, have you enjoyed being back at RallyX? I know you missed. I'm gutted I'm going to be missing the next 2 rounds in Riga. Well, okay, not the next 2. We've got tomorrow to go, but it's nice to be back.
Yeah, I loved it. Really have loved it, actually. Great working with you two. Great feeling in the paddock, and the action's been great as well. I know we were saying that they're... Look at the guys there. I think they're probably watching back the last few corners now on the...
Knowing Niklas, he's probably watching back the end of the ice hockey. That's much more likely, isn't it? But yeah, they may well be.
There's been some great action. I know we talked about it being so hard to overtake. So hard to overtake on these older circuits with the new cars, but there's been some brilliant action today, and none of the categories have disappointed.
No, it has been fantastic. That is a full-on day for us. Molly, what should you and me do to sort our voices out? Do you think we should have a nice cold drink, maybe?
Oh, yes, some drink that will soothe the throat a bit. Any suggestions, anyone?
Well, our director's just said a whiskey, but I think our director's had quite enough this weekend, so I reckon he'll be early to bed. Robert and everyone in the TV truck and on the TV team, thank you. Oh, the Latvia Black Balsam's just come out. Ronald Bowdens gave us this at the last one. There we go. There was a bottle of this at Nitro last year. The Americans were like, what on earth is this? So, Ronald, thanks, mate. We're going to fix up Molly. It's supposed to have healing properties. Did you know that? We're going to get that fixed up for Molly later on. But thank you very much indeed for joining us. Molly Pettit, Hal Reeves, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow, same time.